Wait, is the light flashing behind you? Do you feel like it's flashing or no?
I don't know.
That scared me too. I was like, wait, what? What's the husband saying? The husband just scared Stephanie like, it's the Chinese government, bro.
Do you feel like it's flashing or no?
I don't know.
Hello, YouTube. In today's video, we are going to be watching part 2 of Rotten Mangoes, aka the Queen, Stephanie's second part to Yu Menglong's case. The title of this video is 17 Celebrities Accused of Hosting Secret Party to Torture and Kill One Actor, Yu Menglong. In the previous video that I uploaded, I think I actually went over the party, how Yu Menglong was set up by a bunch of other celebrities, that he had apparently had evidence on them. Like, he apparently had evidence of them partaking in illegal financial activities, and that's why they lured him to a fake party just to push him out the window and abuse him. Now, yeah, I think I briefly touched on that. So, I mean, if you haven't already, please go watch my first video on this case. But yeah, in this video, I think she's gonna go way more into depth in terms of what was done to him. So, you know, trigger warning coming up. What was done to his dogs. I think we're even gonna discuss that weird conspiracy ass sacrificial ritual museum that could be linked to this, called the 798 Museum. That I heard that was going to be spoken about in this video. I'm going to shut up now. Let's brace for this because it's going to be heavy.
Bada bing, bada boom.
September 11th, 2025, a very famous Chinese actor by the name of Yu Menglong, with over 25 million followers. He had performed in a series of hit dramas, and his career was only getting bigger. He suspiciously falls from the 5th floor of a high-rise building in Beijing, a residential building that he does not live in. There are so many questions. First of all, can you really die from falling from the 5th floor? And did he fall? Was he pushed? Was it a self-exit? Why are authorities investigating for approximately 12 hours before concluding that there was no foul play? He was allegedly at this very suspicious dinner party with industry professionals, including his manager, other well-known celebrities, industry investors. These are millionaire billionaires who fund these projects. The police don't investigate these people when he falls to his death from this 5th floor window. The window itself has been a huge point of contention. It's just a window that you open and it has a mesh screen. That window is pretty tall, falling at 30.
Yeah, just for some context, the reason why him supposedly passing away from a supposed self-exit from the 5th floor is because it's just like statistically proven, like people that try to commit wouldn't take a chance of them surviving. So it's like, why would they do it from the 5th floor? Especially if the building goes higher. Like, why would they just randomly do it from the 5th floor where there's like a solid chance of you surviving? It's
just a window that you open and it has a mesh screen. That window is pretty tall, falling at 35 inches tall. That's about waist height. So how does he burst through this mesh net and then fall out the window? The police say it was a drunken accident. They say he got way too wasted and maybe he stumbled and maybe he fell through the net and then fell out the building. That's the only conclusion that we can come to. People obviously have questions. Lots of questions, and the police don't want to answer anything. In fact, if you ask any of these questions on Chinese social media, your account is likely going to get suspended. You're likely going to get banned. So now, the biggest question people have are, why is the Chinese government censoring a celebrity's death? If the Chinese government has nothing to do with the celebrity's passing, why don't they just have the police investigate further?
I have two guesses for that, and I think both of them are true. One, I mean, everybody knows this. The Chinese government is very much involved in their own media. Like, they control the media, right? So basically anything that makes China look anything less than perfect, especially something as cruel and gruesome as this case, it's going to taint China's image as like this utopia. So one, the first reason, it makes China look bad. And two, the people that were involved in killing Yu Menglong, out of the 17 people, some of these people have very strong direct connections to the Chinese government.
Why is the Chinese government censoring a celebrity's death? If the Chinese government has nothing to do with the celebrity's passing, why don't they just have the police investigate further? Why don't they investigate everyone at the dinner party? Why don't they look for CCTV camera at the residential complex? Who's connected to the government where they would have this type of power to censor everything? It's like overnight, Yu Menglong goes from being a beloved celebrity, an actor, to being an enemy of the state. Who's doing that? Well, people have a list. There's a list of 17 people going around, and this 17-person list.
That's her, bro. Dude, I'm so suspicious of this. Dude, I need answers on this woman right here. Song Yiren. She was the camera woman recording the torture of Yu Menglong and helped sell it on the dark web for $100,000. No, yeah, I need answers on this hoe.
There's a list of 17 people going around, and this 17-person list, people are saying, we have all these reasons of why we think they were present at the dinner party. And the first one to go down is a red-haired film director by the name of Cheng Ching-sung. He's famously known for having like bright,
Roblox.
magenta looking. It's a very bad dye job, but he has bright red hair, and I don't think that he has any particular works that are very standout. That's why people think it's suspicious. How does he stay in business when he doesn't have any spectacular films? It doesn't make any sense. And he's very, very wealthy, and he's very well connected. People say he was at that dinner party, and we know he was at that dinner party. Director Chang comes out and he says, I feel very burdened by this accusation that I was at this so-called dinner party. First of all, guys, I don't know what you're talking about, and I have the evidence to show that I was not there at that 5th floor unit in this Beijing high-rise. I was at dinner with a different friend of mine, Tian Hairong. She is the widow of this billionaire Chinese businessman, and she's a good friend of mine. And so, of course, we were at dinner. He posts these screenshots from WeChat, his text messages, with Tian Hairong to show, look, I wasn't there, I was at a different dinner party. The text messages read, this is Director Chang asking, are you there yet? Tian replies with a voice message. Okay, so WeChat is kind of like iMessage, where if you respond with a voice message, you can convert it to text. And so he's converted to text so he can take a screenshot and show the people, show the internet, this is our conversation. I'm not hiding anything from you. I was not at the dinner party where Yu Menglong suspiciously died. Please stop connecting me there. Tian Hairong responds, why are you there so early? I'm on the way. You can order a cup of coffee first at the lobby. I made a reservation inside the restaurant, inside of the Bulgari Hotel, but just get some coffee in the lobby first. I'm gonna be there soon. This is from September 10th, around 6:30 p.m.
The night prior.
Yes, the night prior. We still don't know what time Yu Menglong allegedly fell to his death. We just know that he was found at around 6 in the morning by a neighbor who was walking the dog. We don't really know anything else. He responds, well, I got here 40 minutes ago. Why'd you get there so early? Didn't we say that we were gonna meet at 6:30? This timing is just, can you just sit and wait and take a break? There's a little bit of traffic here. I was working this afternoon. Yeah, no, it's okay. Tian sends a heart emoji, a hug emoji, and she responds, I'm coming from the airport, so the journey is quite long. And he responds, no rush. That's it. That's like the contents of this screenshot. And netizens think, what does this even mean? What does this do? How is this an alibi? Text messages with your friend should not constitute as an alibi to a crime. People think it's weird that he's even posting this. And also, just because you meet someone at dinner at 6:30 p.m. doesn't mean you don't go anywhere else after. It doesn't prove that you even went to dinner with her. Because of how suspicious the messages are, and the fact that he's releasing this as an alibi, people start going over and asking Tian Hairong, the widower of the billionaire, hey, can you talk about this? Because what do you mean you were at the Bulgari Hotel with him? Are you sure he's not lying? Are these real text messages? She comes out and she says, I never wanted to explain myself to the internet. I'm from an older generation. I don't really check the internet. I was told by family and friends that I'm getting roped up into this madness. I don't even know these people. I don't even know Yu Menglong. Let me tell you what happened. September 10th, I had dinner with a good friend of mine, Director Chang. Well, I thought was a good friend of mine, okay? I don't know why he's dragging me into this mess now by posting these screenshots. He could have just said that he had dinner with a friend, but instead, now my name is out there. My name is connected to this. I'm getting cyberbullied.
Because people think she's also one of the 17 people now.
Yes, because they're like, she's so rich. She's so well connected. She's always got her little fingers in the entertainment industry. She must have been at the dinner party too.
Ooh, that's something that makes cases like this very sticky or risky. With so many names, it becomes more likely that you're gonna tie people in that actually genuinely aren't tied, that have nothing to do with it. So that's why you have to be very, very careful. That's why I spam the word allegedly. Don't sue me, all right? we're all just trying to figure this out together, man.
She must have been at the dinner party too. Who's to say that they even went to the Bulgari Hotel? Maybe they just went to the dinner party and they forged these messages. And she's saying, I don't know what any of you guys are talking about. This is impacting my family. This cyberbullying is impacting my reality now, my family. So I'm also going to post screenshots of the text messages that I had with Director Chang on September 10th. And I will point out something very strange. First of all, I think it's strange that he's pulling me into this madness. And second of all, I think it's very strange that he chose to delete this one text message that he sent me that night. Right before he told me, no rush, at the very end of the thread that he showed you guys on the internet, he had said, I'm dealing with something. No rush. So I'm dealing with something, no rush. He deleted, I'm dealing with something. I'm just saying, why lie to the internet? Why drag me into this? That's all I'm saying.
That's fishy.
Messages out there. So netizens are like, okay, we've got the exact same text thread, minus or plus one message from two different people, from Director Chang and now his buddy, Tian Hairong. So they're comparing these two sets of screenshots. Both of them are taken on an iPhone, and both of them are very suspicious. This is like shooting your own foot. Now people have more ammo to study the different things, pieces of evidence out there. The first thing that they notice is that the audio messages, when they're both converted to text, they have 16 characters per line, including spaces and punctuation. Typically on WeChat, it's 15 characters per line. People start sending their friends audio messages, converting to text, taking screenshots, showing, hey, I have an iPhone, I probably have the exact same model, and it's 15 characters per line. But other people are commenting, well, sometimes when you change the text size on your phone, you could maybe do 16. Sometimes it's the screen size, if you have the Pro, not the Pro Max, or it could change. But people are like, it's still weird. Let's look for something else. And they find something else. You know how WeChat or any other messaging app, it likes to refresh you on the time and date. It'll say, even if you're in the midst of a conversation, it'll be like, well, now it's 10 minutes later, so I'm gonna give you the time in the middle of the screen. Like, it's not like you have to slide to the right to see all these text messages. It's just right there in the middle of the screen. Well, they see that, and they see all these different timestamps, and they try to line them up. And the colons of all the timestamps normally on WeChat are very consistent, very uniform. They're not matching anymore.
Some people suspect that it's Photoshop.
Yes.
The time is...
Hey, in America, you only see this kind of detective work with Redditors, not even kidding. Or 4chan even. In China, the WeChat nerds, hey man, they're going detective mode like, oh hell no, these pixels right here, they're off. I'm making a joke of it, but dude, they got a point. Code, when you program apps, it's specific. There is no changing it. There's no reason for the colons to be misaligned like that. It is probably Photoshopped. Yeah, I completely believe that.
And so people are like, now we have these two sets of text messages, and both of you guys are suspicious. Because first of all, both of you guys have been suspicious from the get-go. Director Chang, he does not have a spectacular background. He does not have a spectacular reputation in the industry. People call him a creep, like a Chester the Molester. As a film director, he does this thing where he just sexually harasses people. I will say that Director Chang is openly gay, and nobody really cares about that at all. I mean, I'm sure like any other country, there's some homophobic people, but truly, nobody really cared. The only thing that people were upset about is that time and time again, there would be these rumors, there would be these conversations, scandals that come out of Director Chang sexually harassing male models, male influencers, and male budding actors who want to get into the industry. And the way he does it is very stereotypically predatory of the industry. He would say, you want a job? Let's go eat. Sometimes he would just find a male influencer that he finds attractive online and sexually harass them, nonstop sending DMs like, I'm hungry.
Wait, let me read some of this. Be my boyfriend? Will you? Just straight up, no. No. Holy shit, bro.
And sexually harass them, nonstop sending DMs like, I'm hungry, I want to eat, you know what I want.
I'm laughing, but like it is still evil though, because like it looks pathetic right there, but because he's a, you know, really high up director or like producer or whatever, he can offer jobs in return for sexual favors. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of like, it's funny seeing somebody like step up to him and be like, hell no, get away from me. But it's like, this strategy has probably worked on some other people.
Do you want to meet up? Saying very suspicious things, which I know why you're thinking that, okay? It lines up because September 10th, that very night that this dinner party allegedly happens, he posts on Twitter one word, yummy. No context, nothing. That's why he's getting roped into this. Well, that and a lot of other reasons, but that's one of the big reasons. He's always had this very strong standing reputation of harassing young men. There was at one point, he's 34 years old dating a 19-year-old, and still, that's already creepy. People kept saying that he's an old cow that likes to eat fresh grass. Because it's very unsettling. But even while he's dating that 19-year-old, he will go online and harass other 18, 19-year-old male models. People already don't like him. And the fact that he posts this alibi, it's just rubbing people the wrong way.
Bro, 30 plus, if you're still talking to people with teen in their age, 18, 19, nah, bruh. You gotta look in the mirror, man. Like, what are you doing?
And the fact that he posts this alibi, it's just rubbing people the wrong way. You're not proving anything by sharing text messages with a friend. And they're already suspicious. And Ting Hairong, people are coming for her too. First of all, you have a billionaire husband, got arrested for money laundering, and then in prison right before he gets out at the very young age of like, he's in his 40s, he just drops dead in prison, and then you inherit all of his money, and then the rest of your life, you just chase after seemingly young, allegedly, young actors in the industry to date. That's the vibe. That's always been a small reputation of hers that's been following her around. And so people don't like these people already, and these text messages are not helping. What are you hiding? These two come out and they say, you know what? I got you. I'm gonna give you more information. Here are receipts. Here is a paper receipt of the Bulgari Hotel in which us two, we ate in for a table of two, September 10th at around 6:47-ish, because, you know, the timing was, I got there late because I was going from the airport, you get it. So they post a picture of
dude,
this.
that's so fact. That's so good. Somebody in chat said Ash Trevino, but male. Dude, for real. Well, it's not the same because like they're not going after criminals. Like they're not trying to date criminals. But like the fact that they're both fat, ugly people with some clout. And they use that clout to get with people way out of their league. That is very much like Ash Trevino.
So they post a picture of this paper receipt sitting on a marble counter. And then to go along with that, they post a screenshot of their bank transaction that coincides with the date and with the exact amount for the Bulgari restaurant. So they're like, see, the money is coming from my bank and I'm gonna give you a screenshot of that, okay? A few things. You know when you keep talking because you want to absolve yourself of any guilt, but the more these people are talking, the more guilty they seem? That's exactly what happens. At first, netizens are like, okay, that's a lot of receipts. But you look at the receipts. It's interesting. This receipt itself has been studied to hell and back. The itemized list shows 3 dishes, 2 sodas, and a portion of Italian cheese. It's a table for 2 at table 13 in the Bulgari Hotel restaurant. The grand total, including service charges and taxes, comes out to be $215. Obviously, there are comments on how ridiculous it is to spend $215 on 2 people. But another thing netizens notice is the picture of this receipt, they're posting this like early October.
What does that mean?
It's been a month since September 10th. It's been like weeks. And you're telling me the receipt looks pristine? It doesn't look wrinkled. It looks like it was just printed yesterday.
Yeah, for like, what normal person keeps a receipt from a random fucking restaurant? Like when I go to a restaurant, I don't even want their fucking receipt. I'm just like, bro, it's just trash to me. It's nothing but a hindrance. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I already ate the food. Like, why am I gonna keep the receipt?
It doesn't look wrinkled. It looks like it was just printed yesterday. It looks fresh off the roll, fresh off the printer, which is very strange because these 2 people, they're very wealthy. They don't seem like the type to save their receipts for bookkeeping. They don't seem like the type that's like, oh, that was a business dinner. I gotta put it in my bookkeeping. They seem like the type that's like, if it's under $10,000, I don't even need a receipt.
Yeah.
But suddenly you have the most pristine collection of receipts that is not crumpled, that you don't just shove into your pocket or your purse. It doesn't make any sense. But the more damning piece of evidence is the receipt shows a time of 7:10 p.m. That's when the receipt is. That's when okay, so it says time, 7:10 p.m. At the very least. Some people are interpreting it differently. It doesn't make sense that they would be done eating at 7:10 p.m. because their text messages, they were supposed to meet at 6:30, but she's running so late.
Yeah.
And then also, it's a hotel. It's a 5-star hotel. Any hotel, regardless of the stars, but like the more stars, the more wait time at restaurants typically. They sit down, you get wine, you get drinks. Like it takes, you're sitting there for 40 minutes chit-chatting before your food comes out at the Bulgari Hotel. They're speed eating like this is a Chipotle. It doesn't make any sense.
Or this is when the tab is open, maybe?
So that's the next thing. People are like, okay, this is when the tab was open. They start the order. They take the order at 7:10 p.m. Okay, put it into the system. And now it's probably going to take like another 30 minutes for the food to come out. 7:36. So about 26 minutes later. They're definitely not done eating because, again, if the food is put into the system at 7:10, let's say the fastest it comes out, 15 minutes later, what is that? That's 7:25. And then you're done at 7:36? I doubt it. There's no way. And
it's even worse than I thought. There's only 26 minutes in between the receipt being printed, the order being put in the system, and then them like leaving. What the fuck?
And then you're done at 7:36? I doubt it. There's no way. An Italian cheese plate, you're not scarfing cheese down like that. You're sitting there and you're talking. So why is it at the very end of their text messages, you don't see the text message itself, but like I said, in the WeChat likes to float these little time markers when more text messages are sent. You just see this in the middle of the screen, at the very bottom of the screenshot. 7:36 p.m.
There's a message.
A message. So it's them 2 sitting inside of this high-end restaurant in the Bulgari Hotel, texting each other at the same table. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? And why would they not show us the message then?
Lying ass hoes.
And then another thing, you know how we got those screenshots of the WeChat? It's very clear, both of them, these screenshots come from an iPhone. Why is it that when they post their bank statement, it's an Android all of a sudden? The time, the battery mark.
Oh shit, holy detective work. I didn't notice that. Yeah. The screenshot on the left is very clearly iOS. The status bar on the right showing the bank statement screenshot, that's so Android. Like, there's some Samsung shit. 10,000 IQ observation.
It's all Android interface. So what does that mean? And what does the Bulgari Hotel have anything to do with this? This is probably the more complicated web of storylines that we've covered in a while, where nothing can be taken as a fact, nothing can be confirmed, everything is alleged, but everything starts unraveling in a way that doesn't even make sense. Videos start going viral of what appears to be Yu Menglong being tortured inside of a Bulgari hotel, the same Bulgari hotel that these 2 allegedly had dinner at. Then these 2, a lot of their history starts coming up, and there are allegations that they're connected to not just Yu Menglong's passing, but to other famous celebrities passing. Yu Menglong's agency, in fact, there are now conversations of at least 10 different celebrities passing away under very suspicious circumstances from his exact same talent agency. And there's so many things that are very similar to his case. The police are closing the cases immediately. There's lots of rumors circulating. The police want to shut down all conversations. They don't want to reinvestigate. They don't want to disprove any rumors. They just wait until all of it quiets down and everyone forgets about it. This is part 2 of the Yu Menglong case.
They gotta be brought to justice, dude. Like, there's just no way. China, at this point, like the government, they have to weigh the pros and the cons of covering for these people. Like, yeah, some of the people might be very fucking powerful that will be like tied into it, but it's just so obvious at this point. If they continue to just cover up this case, this is basically China's 9/11, where people going forward for the rest of time are always gonna make it was an inside job jokes, kind of like how we do that for 9/11 here in America.
This is just a recap of all the different discourse online. This is not me taking a political stance against one nation or another, especially when I have yet to visit a country. I don't even think that I am in a position to take any judgments, but today's case...
I'll do it, Stephanie. I'm announcing formally on this stream that I'm going to war with China. I'm kidding. Please don't hurt me. If you clip that, I will bring you down with me.
The only things that I can tell you with full confidence in this episode is that Menglong, a famous beloved Chinese actor, is dead. The facts around his death are suspicious in my opinion. The government, the police are behaving even more suspiciously, and those are the only concrete facts that we really have. So with that being said, we're gonna go over all of the people that were allegedly involved and all the conspiracies that range from believable to kind of like a movie. They're really intense. There are times where I would get so sucked into a conspiracy while researching that I would have to take a moment to be like, wait, is this too crazy? Like, am I going down a rabbit hole and believing?
She's definitely talking about the museum here, because when I read about the possible link to this cursed ass sacrificial ritual ass museum, I also thought, wait, this sounds way too nuts. Like, this sounds like some kind of fake story.
And something too crazy, because the sense is kind of there, but I've never seen stuff like this happen in real life. So is this just unhinged conspiracy theories? To that, I just say, there are times where you have a conspiracy theory and the reality is not that dark. The conspiracy theory is like a combination of the top 10 movies of that year meshed into one giant aluminum tinfoil hat theory. And the reality is a little bit more simple. And there are times where the reality is a lot darker than the conspiracy theories themselves. And everything is a lot worse in reality than we ever thought. So I don't know what the case is with this situation, but I'm going to go through all of it with you today. So with that disclaimer, let's get started. How do you know when a celebrity actually needs help? Even if they are saying things, how would you know if it's real? That has been the case with Menglong's last live streams. People have been pouring through his social media history. They've been going through his pictures, any of his tweets to see, is there something we're missing? And they have put together a series of clips. So in part one, we went over, it looked like he had bruises on his eyes. It looked like he had these injuries that he was hiding with makeup when he was out and about and fans were taking pictures and videos of him. But in his own live streams, fans have found some very strange things. We don't know if these have been taken out of context, so take it with a grain of salt. But in one live stream, Menglong is wearing what appears to be a blue suit. He looks like he's working, and it just looks like he's reading comments from his fans during the live stream. He kind of has his hand covering his mouth as he's reading the comments, and some people say it actually doesn't look like he's reading the comments. His eyes aren't necessarily moving left to right. They're not moving up and down. They're just kind of staring at the comments, almost as if he's looking at the comments, but his attention is maybe elsewhere in the room. Like he's trying to listen in the room. He's trying to get a vibe of if anybody in the physical room with him is staring at him. And then eventually he says, puts his hand down. He says, while he's covering his mouth. Puts his hand down and immediately mouths something before talking. And it sounds like a very breathy, low, save me. You can barely hear.
Oh, that's so dark. Oh my God. Wait, I need to see that again. That gave me chills.
The low, save me. You can barely hear him. You can see his lips moving. You can hear some breathiness. It kind of sounds like save me, but you don't really hear it. It sounds weird. And then immediately afterwards, he starts voicing out his words like this. So it's like, save me. And then voicing out his words like this.
也不是 PK， 也不是有两个对话的那个。
Just talking about normal things. Netizens have ripped this live stream apart, saying, is this a moment where he's reaching out for help because it doesn't make any sense? Why would he say, save me like that? Others are saying, no, it's because the internet was lagging. So maybe his mouth and his voice weren't matching up, and so his mouth looked like it was saying save me, but it wasn't. It was just not.
That doesn't make sense though. Why would there be lag just for that part? And then right after that, it's perfect. Like the audio and like the mouth were perfectly in sync. No.
Catching up, and so his mouth looked like it was saying save me, but it wasn't. It was just not catching up to the sound. Other people are saying that doesn't make sense because I distinctly hear a save me. Then there are conversations that breathy save me was edited in later by someone who wants this to go viral. So there is so much discourse around this live stream, but it doesn't help that there are just a lot of weird things that he did before his passing. In the month of August, there are social media posts after social media posts where it seems like Menglong is unwell. In another live stream, he voices out the words, help me. A lot louder this time. His fans hear it, but they do nothing. Everyone assumed that he was talking about his network being bad. Right before this, he's talking about how his network connection is not the best and the live stream isn't really working well. And then he says, help me. And so people are wondering, maybe he tried to play it off with whoever is in the room with him, because the whole insinuation is that his agency, his manager, are in control of him. There are people who believe that he has been held captive for a really long time, that he's been doing work events, he's been live streaming while being held captive so that nobody is suspicious. They think that he's saying, help me, as in like, maybe everyone in the room will think that I'm talking about the network, but I'm telling you, help me. Then there is another moment that people have dissected. So I know in America, we have the DV, violence symbol for help. So if you are in a car and a police officer drives up, or if you're in an airport and you're talking to a TSA gate agent, you have your open palm, all 5 fingers up like a high five. You tuck in your thumb, and then you close your fist around your thumb. He has done that motion multiple times in his live streams. So he'll have 5 out, and then he'll kind of tuck his thumb in, covering his mouth, and then he'll tuck it all the way in and do a fist and cover his mouth. He does it very naturally. So some people are wondering, is this just a natural motion he does?
And then in Chinese, I think some people think it's 540, which in Chinese is 我四零, sounds very similar to 我死了, like I'm dead. So it's like another signal that people are picking up.
There's also another poem that started going around, and I couldn't verify.
I didn't know that Stephanie's husband was Chinese. That's very helpful for this case. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have known what the hell like 540 even means. Like if the researchers on Stephanie's team didn't catch that, yeah, I mean, her husband was there.
There's also another poem that started going around, and I couldn't verify if this was exactly from him because I couldn't find any of the original sourcing, neither could the rest of the team. But it seems like he was writing a poem about a rainy day and how he's learning some magic tricks. It's the most random poem. Even if I were to give you the translation for it, because of the way that the sentence structure in English and Chinese are so vastly different, it wouldn't make sense. But it felt very random in the sense of, today's a rainy day. Don't forget your umbrella. I learned a new magic trick today. Like, it's very out of nowhere. Like, the poem itself is not artistic. It doesn't make any sense. But people were saying, if you take the first character of every single line of this poem, it says, today they want me to die. And that has been circulating. So these are all the reasons that people think that he has been held captive for months, which begs the question, who's keeping him captive? Why are they keeping him captive? September 11th, 2025, my sister-in-law actually opens up her little Red Book app. Do you guys remember when TikTok was going to get banned in the US? It was a very bizarre side plot in the US timeline. Everybody starts posting dramatic goodbye.
That felt like a fever dream, by the way. I was just getting back from Japan in January, and then all of a sudden, I just get a message on TikTok saying like, oh, it's been suspended in America. And I was like, what the fuck? And like, that was such a weird time. Like, it went away for like 24 hours and then it came back. But that was such a random point in history and like America lore. Like,
it was a very bizarre side plot in the US timeline. Everybody starts posting dramatic goodbyes and then immediately downloading another app called Little Red Book. This is that app. In China, it's probably the more new, more foreigner-friendly application. Like, Douyin is Chinese TikTok, the original TikTok. But Xianhou is kind of like Pinterest, Instagram. It's for younger people. Lots of foreigners love it. And she opens up the app, and the first message that she gets is like, hello, are you aware of the content guidelines on this application? You are not to repost like negative celebrity trivial matters. Like, please refer to the terms and conditions as a user. Click here to accept and close. It was the most bizarre, out-of-place notification that she got, to the point where she screenshotted it and sent it to her friends because she thought it was very strange.
And it wasn't because of like she was posting anything and getting like a strike or another alert. She doesn't post. This is like a mass notification to every single user.
Every single one.
And she is just confused.
And everyone is like, oh, this has to do with Menglong. Because September 11th, 2025, the same day that Menglong is found deceased at the bottom of the building, the Cyberspace Administration of China demands a meeting with the executives of Little Red Book. The purpose of the discussion is your trending list. The trending list, what the users and your algorithms decide to push more out into the ether. They're saying you guys frequently have celebrity personal dynamics, interpersonal relationships between high-profile people. It's just trivial. It's trivial, nonsensical matters that really impact the online ecology, and it's the ecosystem of the younger generations online. This is not good. They should focus on things that really matter. This is actually a thing. The Cyberspace Administration of China, they were the ones to ban feminine men. That was like a thing. They didn't really want.
China bans sissy men from TV and new cultural crackdown. Erase femboys from social media.
This is actually a thing. The Cyberspace Administration of China, they were the ones to ban feminine men. That was like a thing. They didn't really want a lot of what you would call pretty boy celebrities, which is like a bigger thing in East Asia, Korea as well, because they felt like it was instilling weak values in the men in China. So overnight, all these idols that fit that category were scared to get banned. So they're like posting workout videos in the gym. They're saying like, we are trying to cultivate the perfect ecosystem to influence the entire nation in a positive way. And all of this gossip about celebrity drama is not going to be good. And this gossip that they're talking about is the death of Yu Menglong. Later, anyone online questioning the cause of Yu Menglong's death on Little Red Note were automatically getting deleted, banned, and suspended. But people have gone to Threads, they've gone to Twitter, they've gone to all these different foreign social media platforms to come up with what they believe happened. And it actually starts way, way before September 10th or September 11th. They go all the way back into August. They start analyzing all of Yu Menglong's live streams like I was talking about. But they also start
Wait, I think it was either August or June when the dog video was taken.
going through all of his public performances, his public appearances. And it's around the beginning of August that you start to see a massive decline in what appears to be his mental state and physical state. That is what people are saying online. I don't personally know any of these people, so what presents in a video could not be what's happening in reality, but it does look suspicious. So this is where the series of the bruising of the face is showing up, and then also he just looks incredibly skinny and frail. Prior to this, when he is at work events or even when he's traveling, he's never really the most outgoing, extroverted person, but he's very attentive to his fans. But during the month of August, any fan meetings he has where people are running into him and recording him, he seems really disassociating. He seems like he's trying to have a conversation, but he's not really there. That's how everyone is describing it. He's still posting on Weibo, but nothing in particular, perhaps just a series of travel photos, and most of it is not even of him. Most of it includes shots of plants and like serene backgrounds, but we don't even know if he's traveling. This could have all been taken in Beijing. So it seems like since August, he has been held captive until September. That is the theory that's been going around. His managers, his agency, all of these higher up people have been holding him hostage. They have someone watching his every move. They're watching him live stream. They're watching everything he posts. They have access to his phone, and they're trying to get something out of him. What are they trying to get out of him? Everyone points to 9 years ago.
Let me emphasize that really quick. 9 years ago. Okay, so like he was killed on September 11th of this year. I mean, look, we're looking back at 9 years ago. His abuse, his harassment started since he was 25 years old. He was 37 when he passed away.
A famous singer that I know by the name of Kimi, but
Zhao Renliang.
yes, so he passed away 9 years ago from the same agency. And people think that there is a connection because even when Kimi passed, there were lots of conversations around, it seems like there were conspiracies that he had pissed off higher ups, that he had rejected somebody that wanted to do something sexual with him, and they were trying to blackball him, and eventually it led to his passing. There were a lot of different theories running around, and the police, the authorities, they were very hush-hush about it. Everything pretty much gets closed down. It's very similar to what's happening with Yu Menglong. A lot of people believe that they have the same manager. So people start going online, and they start typing into different search bars, do they have the same manager? Do Kimi and Yu Menglong have the same manager? And these search bars would say, yes, they do. They have the exact same manager.
Going AI.
Yeah, it's like the AI generated search, which like I know how we feel about AI, but like, you know, it's the AI generated search. People are looking at it and they go, okay, so they have the same manager. I mean, there's no proof, right? There's no like, no one's going into the company records, but that's what Douyin is saying. The very next day, after all of this blows up, people are reposting it on Threads, on Twitter. You go back to Douyin and you ask, do they have the same manager? Suddenly it's no.
Oh, hell no, bro. The Chinese government fixed the AI. Sorry for that hiccup. There actually is nothing wrong. They don't have the same manager.
Answer has been
Screenshot it.
Yeah.
Side by side. It's so weird.
I would say like most of these search platforms, when they use the AI feature, it's not very accurate. Like accuracy is not the name of the game with these top searches. Like even like the Google AI overview, it's like most people say it's not accurate, right? But with this, to change it the next day is weird because they just leave up the inaccurate information. They don't go ahead and change it. So why would they change it? Who would call to have it changed? People start digging into the manager. And we mentioned in part 1 of this entire case, the manager does not seem to have an entertainment background. There are rumors that he is part of an organized crime syndicate. He's just hired muscles. People say that he is more of a, I would say hitman is maybe taking it too far, but like the cleanup of organized crime. You got a dirty job on your hands. This is the guy that you call. And they are very closely intertwined with a lot of powerful executives and investors. He was hired into the company as, yes, a manager, but really his formal occupation would just be to watch over these subjects, to make sure that they're not stepping out of line, to make sure that they're not saying anything, to make sure everything goes as normal. I will say this manager is also a very strange guy. If you dig into his old posts, there are, he likes to post, all of these people like to post weird things. They love trying to be edgy, artsy, but it's not. It's just uncomfortable. It's just very scary. He likes to post a series of photos where it shows a man saran wrapped to a table. It looks like an episode of like a serial killer show. So you got
Actual person?
Well, that's what it looks like in the first 3 photos.
Okay.
And it looks like a person. Saran wrapped to an operation table, like a steel table. And then someone is grabbing his head in one photo. So it looks like he's about to get a head massage. And then all of a sudden a knife appears and they cut this man's head into 6 different sections. It looks like a cake. It's like a "is it cake" video. And then those 4 pieces are like, the pieces of his head are arranged on a plate.
So it's like, yeah, it's like that cringy ass, like, I'm into gore vibe. I'm into gore. Gore doesn't even faze me. And I'm into art pieces that like depict it. Aren't I so cool and like low-key kind of scary? Like, don't I kind of spook you? Yeah. I do that a lot to people. I'm different. I don't really fit in. Yeah. Cringe ass manager, bro.
And then those 4 pieces are like, the pieces of his head are arranged on a plate. It's clearly not a real person. It's clearly either some sort of sculpture or AI generated art.
So he was like retweeting shit like that?
But his whole caption with that is, something that is whole can be cut into pieces, but those pieces can never be whole again. And so people think, this manager is just weird. We don't really know anything about this man. We don't know how he got into the role of being Yu Menglong's manager. We don't know much about him. All we know is that he likes to post these types of things. So people believe that the person that lured Yu Menglong to the dinner party that night, is the manager. They think that Yu Menglong is not one to go out with any of these people. He's not one to go on any of these drinking meetings with investors. He's someone that likes to very much follow the rules. He likes to stay home. He likes to cook with his 2 dogs. He has a corgi and a French bulldog. He's a very big homebody that just works hard. He's not someone that likes to really go out to dinner and get drunk with other celebrities. Not that anything's particularly wrong with that, but he would not have showed up to a dinner party unless his manager had invited him. So he gets lured to this apartment by his manager. And there's a bunch of investors, a bunch of big business partners that are there, and they all want to sleep with him.
I'm getting scared that Stephanie is showing the dogs more.
And there's a bunch of investors, a bunch of big business partners that are there, and they all want to sleep with Yu Menglong. Over the past 10 years, at least 9 other artists have died under very strange circumstances from this same agency. And that's why they believe the manager is heavily involved.
Sorry, I have to touch on that. That part, this is what I was afraid of when I first learned of this case. Actors like Yu Menglong, men that have this very youthful appearance. He was 37, but I mean, look at him. Pretty boy, slim, angelic looking, disgusting ass men with power. I mean, we saw that ugly bald guy, right? When they're put in a position of power over somebody like this, disgusting fucks like this probably saw this and was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get him to do things with me no matter what, just to say that I'm the one that made him do it. They fetishize that. No, yeah, it's like a huge fetishization. Like, they might not even be necessarily gay themselves, like wouldn't consider himself part of like the LGBTQ. It's just more of a power thing, a power fantasy.
9 other artists have died under very strange circumstances from this same agency, and that's why they believe the manager is heavily involved. With the 9 others, sometimes the cause of death is listed as self-exit, sometimes it's an accident, but always netizens have questions about them. And I don't think it's a situation where netizens just cannot grasp the idea of one of their beloved celebrities having depression. There's no answers to any of these. It just doesn't make any sense. And the whole agency itself is very suspicious. They say the format of the agency, and we kind of touched upon it on episode 1, is that it's a government-run state agency. You can't sue them. This is like suing the government. And if you think suing the United States of America is hard, probably suing China is not even a viable option for anybody. It just doesn't make sense. So this government agency will go around and mass sign a bunch of talent. After the end of a talent reality show, they'll go and sign 20 new people. And then they'll pick 1 or 2. They're gonna make them really famous. The other ones, they're just gonna hold them hostage, freeze their careers, refrigerate their careers. That's
Allegedly.
how they refer to it. Allegedly, yes.
Theories.
And then they can't get out. Out of those maybe 18 celebrities left, maybe half of them come from really well-off families, because it's hard to get into the celebrity world, into the entertainment business, without some sort of funding and backing. So these celebrities' families will say, you know what, I just want out of this contract, so I'm gonna pay whatever crazy fee you want me to pay, and I need to leave. I need to go sign with someone who's actually gonna invest resources into my career. So they sign the contract and they leave. And then you have a handful of people left. These are people that come from backgrounds where they can't afford a breakup fee. Those termination fees are like millions of dollars. With Yu Menglong, it was 30 million. They can't afford that. Like, they would be in debt for the rest of their lives and the next life. It wouldn't make sense. So they can't do anything. They can't sue the agency for not giving them what they were promised. They can't get out of the agency and find work elsewhere. So they're just stuck. So what do they do when they're stuck? This is when investors can come and decide if they like you. These people are considered free-for-all playthings. They will allegedly open up shell companies in their name to launder money. These massive investors and business owners will launder money through their names. Other times they will use them as victims for their sexual fantasies, allegedly. That has been the rumor.
But it is true that there were companies open in their name that's dealing firearms and military weaponry.
Yeah, so that seems pretty much confirmed. Yu Menglong had multiple shell companies in his name, and all of them were pertaining to military contract sales. And this is not someone who would money launder. None of the money was going back into his accounts. It's going in and out, and you're talking about millions, tens of millions of dollars. And he isn't seeing any of that money. He doesn't know anything about the military, but it's getting laundered in his name. There is a very famous Chinese celebrity by the name of Yang Mi. We've talked about her briefly on our other podcast, Moral of the Story, and she's massive. She's probably one of the biggest stars in China. She worked on Eternal Love with Yu Menglong, and she has her own agency, and it seems like they have a very sibling dynamic. I mean, they played siblings, but they also have one in real life, like sibling dynamic. She traveled to Beijing at least 3 separate times with the sole intention of signing Yu Menglong.
Really?
And the agency would just not let him go. I think that she knew that they were not putting enough resources into him, and she wanted to help him. I don't know if she knew anything deeper. I'm not saying that she knows anything sinister, but I think that she was like, he's not getting enough roles as he deserves. I think I could do a lot more for him. Company would not let him go. And this company is not really doing anything for his career either. And it seems like this is what the company is doing, because they're a state-run agency. They could theoretically get away with it. Remember how I said there were 9 other people in the past decade that suspiciously passed in this company? Just to give you an idea, one of them is a female artist who ends up, this is what the police say happened. She took off all her clothes, got completely naked, and then jumped to her death. That this was a self-exit. A female celebrity who is pretty much probably always objectified online, being vulnerable, in a very vulnerable situation psychologically, is then going to take off all her clothes and then plummet to her passing so that she can be photographed in the nude, so that people can objectify her more, so that people can sell
Oh, nah. I'm not gonna say what obviously happened to her, but like, no, I have my assumption as to like what, like why her clothes were just mysteriously off. That's disgusting, bro. I'm not gonna say it, but like, you guys know what I'm getting at.
So that people can objectify her more, so that people can sell these photos. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But anytime people tried to ask those questions, they were getting deleted. Another signed talent is a newscaster. He died in an accident, and his mom later came out to say that the police told her that she needs to sign a document that her son did drugs, was high, and fell off the building, or she could not see her son, and her son could not be released back into her custody. People believe that with each passing and with each suspicious circumstance, that there are a handful of people that seem to consistently show up in those moments. The first one is a man by the name of Shin Chi. Shin Chi has been an enigma in the entertainment industry for a very long time, because everyone is like, I don't know how this man came up. I don't know what kind of funding he has, but he's very well connected politically. November 2018, Shin Chi is 27 years old. He becomes the chairman of the China National Electric Investment Group's new energy company. The chairman.
CEO?
Yes,
Chairman?
27 years old. This is a government-run entity, meaning how would a 27-year-old be appointed that position unless he has absolutely incredibly strong, powerful people in the ranks that are handing him these positions? AKA,
No,
he's
yeah,
a
27 years old and to be handed CEO position of a company like that massive. Oh, nah, you're in with the government if that's the case, or you just have strong connections. That's all. Not necessarily the government.
AKA, he's a political nepo baby. If he were just really smart and capable, even if he were to follow the route of getting into government, nobody would promote a 27-year-old for being outstanding. Politics has hierarchies, legacies, seniority, favoritism. They're not just going to give him a position for being the most capable, which I don't think he is, regardless. Which means, who the hell is Shin Chi? He goes from being the chairman of this state-run investment group to suddenly being like a film producer. He just makes movies, he invests in movies, he's like a major name in the entertainment industry. How do you even break out like that? Again, you go from that investment group chairman to the entertainment industry, and you're succeeding across all fronts. And when you look into his past, nobody can find his family history. He doesn't talk much about his childhood. Who is he? Who are his parents? Because you can only get these types of positions if your parents have high up government positions. One insider from the industry spoke out and anonymously told a reporter online, like, do whatever you want with this information, but he's connected to top party leaders. He's got strong ties with the leaders of CCTV, which is the state-run TV agency, the government-run TV network, news network. And weirdly, anytime you hop on a call with this guy, he uses a number that doesn't even route back to him. It's like, you see the caller ID, but it's not him. Like, you don't see Shin Chi. It's weird. Like, it's just like this other guy's name. So it seems like a fake number, and they are able to pull up that number because I guess this insider has had conversations with him. This number is linked to at least 99 companies registered.
Interesting.
When you register a business, you have to have a phone number that goes along with it. It's this number that's mainly used. And this number is also connected to Yu Menglong's shell companies.
Really?
Oh, so this like really suspicious phone number that this Nepo baby sussy ass guy that was suspiciously appointed CEO, that phone number they found out was linked to the shell, aka fake companies that were linked to Yu Menglong. Crazy. Alrighty, that smells fishy.
So everyone's saying, okay, Xingqi seems to be, if this is true, if all of this information is not fake, not AI generated somehow, not edited with absolute perfection, and these are real tips given to real reporters, then yes, it seems like there is a connection between these shell companies, Xingqi, whoever that man is, and Yu Menglong. But that's not the only connection. Xingqi has been Yu Menglong's top fan for years. Top fan in China is a little bit different from maybe America. Top fan does not typically mean you love the celebrity the most. You're the #1 fan. It typically means you are the fan with the most power. You can buy billboards. You've got money, you've got connections, you are a highly influential fan. You can make things happen for your favorite celebrity because you yourself have power. That's what they call a top fan. Xingqi has been Yu Menglong's top fan for years. He actually runs Yu Menglong's fan club.
It's crazy. Wow.
And he is reported to be gay. And he seems to have some sort of crush or some sort of infatuation with Yu Menglong, has been the conspiracy online. And again, I don't think that I need to be the one to give you a disclaimer, but sexual orientation has no correlation with someone's ability to commit a crime or to be
No, but see, it's so sus. That is an important thing, I think, that we need to be factoring in. A lot of these people are coming out as gay and they're interested in Yu Menglong. And then they invite him over and then they do that to, oh gosh. And again, remember, this has been going on with Yu Menglong since he was 25 for 12 years. And with all these people around him with power being attracted to him, oh gosh, man, that's just, that is definitely worth taking note.
I mean, I think if you look at most episodes on this channel, straight people commit so many heinous crimes. Like, if you're trying to use this as a way to be homophobic, you should try a different video. Nothing on our channel. But people think that he had this infatuation with Yu Menglong and has been trying to get Yu Menglong to consent and to do sexual things for him, sexual favors. And the best way to do that is to stunt his career growth. So after all of the big hit dramas that he was in, around 2020 to 2023,
actual Diddy shit, dude.
Off the radar. He goes into the village to teach children. He's basically starving. He comes back and he jokes that he has no money for food. Now we know it probably wasn't a joke, but for those 3 years, it is believed that Xingqi and at least another very wealthy, influential person wanted to get Yu Menglong and he was refusing. So they completely halted his career. I think it sounds like a very big conspiracy, but
also that's what you got. Yeah, so maybe that was why he wasn't getting as many roles as he should have. Maybe they had a hand in that. They were like blackballing him in the industry.
For these people, if this were to be true, it's not much. It's just vengeful. It's like, okay, fine, you don't want to sleep with me? Then you're not going to get a job.
Yeah, I mean, and also you look at his career. How could you going from doing such big drama
with Yang Mi?
Yeah, with Yang Mi, yeah, like these are crazy breakout roles, and then boom, off TV for 3 years. And something happened. Yeah.
And it's not like he was trying. And
the husband is spitting right now. Stephanie's husband is spitting right now.
He was gone. And so people think Xingqi is one of those people that wanted to get something from him and it wasn't working. And another thing to add to this is there have been reports that from beginning of August, some people even say in the month of July, there were lots of leaked blind items from the paparazzi saying that, hey, there's a very big actor that was in Eternal Love. Now, to be fair, Eternal Love has a lot of big names, but he was in Eternal Love. And we got news of a major scandal from him.
Yeah, I think they say like a celebrity from the show with 25 million followers, which, I mean, come on. Yeah. How many, exactly 25 million? Who are we talking about? Yeah.
And people were saying that these executives, these higher ups, are leaking this information to the paparazzi as another way to threaten Yu Menglong and say, see, we not only have power over your career, we can also ruin your whole career. Like, we can just take you off the screens, yes, but we can make you a very bad person online as well. And so this is just adding more and more pressure. So people believe that Xingqi was one of the ones that really wanted to sleep with Yu Menglong. And they believe that he was there at that dinner party that night. And just to give you an idea about these dinner parties, a lot of Chinese celebrities have seemingly spoken up about—
Oh, chatter. Wait, that's actually so good. That's why Yu Menglong ended up going back to his hometown to teach little children while he was away from the industry. Yeah, I remember seeing those clips in part 1. Those random clips of him teaching children. I remember being kind of confused, like, wait, why was he doing this? Like, why? Yeah, that was during his hiatus when he was getting blackballed from the industry for refusing to give these men, these disgusting men, what they wanted. Interesting. So he was kind of just doing that to unfortunately essentially pass the time while he was, yeah.
And just to give you an idea about these dinner parties, a lot of Chinese celebrities have seemingly spoken up about this, and it's kind of the same in East Asian culture, I'm sure Korean culture as well, not just in the entertainment industry, even just the business world. You want to get a business deal done, you got to go get drunk, you got to go to a 회식, like you have to go and pour alcohol for these higher ups to get a deal signed. There's this very viral clip of Tao from EXO. He is now in China. He also recently got married, I believe. He was talking about, this was from years ago, he was screaming, like getting very wild up in a live stream, and he said, I have my own agency. And if you tell me my employees, my talent, have to go do a business deal and they have to drink something, then get the fuck out. I don't need your money. We don't need you. We don't need your stupid deals. Like, no, I'm not letting them put their health in jeopardy.
给我公司所有员工，我立了一个规矩：你出去谈任何业务、谈任何项目，只要让你喝酒，不滚都滚。我绝不让我员工去卖身体、去喝酒、去谈任何的业务。这辈子我不可能做这种事儿。我公司
Yeah, because he knows what it's like, because he used to be in EXO, which is a K-pop group, right? He has firsthand experience because he was an idol with how predatory these people are, with leveraging their power to get you to do degrading things. W this guy.
可以不做，我不让我员工做这种事情，就这么简单。
And I think he was saying health as in like, because you have to get like blackout drunk, and
Yes.
that level of alcohol is not good. But people have been recirculating this clip by saying maybe health could mean other things. We don't think that's what he meant, but they're saying like, we just don't know how dark it gets when people get that drunk. We don't know how many people could get taken advantage of. So it does seem like this is a very normal thing that happens, at least these drinking parties. The reason that Shinchi is important to this, though, is a lot of people believe the money laundering is all connected to him. He had opened up the shell companies in Yu Menglong's name. He wants to sleep with Yu Menglong, and he also has this very shady LinkedIn profile, if you will. How do you go from being nobody to being the chairman of this state-run massive investment group to being this very famous producer and director and doing all of these things in the entertainment industry? Nobody knows who your parents are. So there are rumors that he is the illegitimate child of the head of state of the entire nation.
Oh my God.
The head of state of the entire nation. Because even if he, there were previous rumors circulating that maybe he was the illegitimate son of one of the Politburo members, which are like the top 25 most powerful people in the nation. But a lot of people are saying there's no way that the head of state would not just let them go down for it. Because this looks bad, ultimately, on the head of state. It doesn't look bad on everyone. It looks, ultimately, when you have one person at the top, like anyone, most nations have a president, it just looks bad on that person. They're the first to be blamed. So why would they go down for a random person's son in the top 25 most powerful politicians? At the end of the day, he's the most powerful. Why would he go down for him? So they think that this guy, Shinchi, is the illegitimate son of the head of state of the entire nation. And there have been rumors circulating prior to this. And these, I will say, are rumors that a lot of these are people who very much dislike the government system in China. These are people who are very outspoken about that. And that's their right? But they're very anti-CCP. And they have been saying for months prior to this that there have been lots of rumors, and they believe to be true, that the head of state has been embezzling money through military contracts, right? Which is, I think that's a thing that a lot of different heads of state have been accused of. But they're accusing him of doing that. And they're saying now with these military shell companies, maybe it's all connected. Maybe this is the illegitimate son who's funneling and money laundering through this celebrity. And then maybe Yu Menglong finds out and wants to put an end to it, or wants to go public with this information, and now he must die. And now it's going to get covered up, because it's not even just about Yu Menglong's death anymore. It's about a whole system. And just to give you an idea, if you run this phone number, netizens have been able to pull up other companies that are with the same phone number that allegedly belong to Shinchi. And one of the companies has been operating for 5 years. They have 0 payroll employees. 0 employees. And they generate $630 million in revenue.
Dang.
In the past 5 years.
Wow.
Its logo probably reads not money laundering at that point, because that's money laundering. To give you an idea, other businesses who generate that kind of revenue, around even 100 million a year, they will employ on average at the very least 100 people, but typically on the 1,000 people end. You're not going to generate that with 0 payroll employees. But they're saying that these different companies, all 99 of them, are so profitable, even though nobody's running them. They're just printing money at this point. It doesn't make any sense. These are the allegations. I don't know. I don't have the paperwork in hand. I am not someone who can certify such legal paperwork. So I don't know if this paperwork has been edited and reposted online. I don't know. But that same number can also be traced back to another very well-known celebrity, Song Yiren. And
Oh my God, here we go. Oh, dude, I'm getting chills because it's kind of all tying together. In the previous video, I did touch on how Yu Menglong potentially had a USB containing evidence of this money laundering. We just heard how insane the money laundering is. How much did she say again? Like $600 million with like no paid employees? Bro, if you get caught with that, you're fucked with that kind of money laundering. So if they found out Yu Menglong had dirt on them about that, and then Song Yirin was involved with that too, these people are gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that shit dies with you.
Song Yiren. And she has been connected to this dinner party many a times through many a different pieces of evidence. Song Yiren is a small-time actress. She was on this reality show called Everyone Stand By, which I did a whole Mott's episode on. It's like a famous Chinese acting reality show where the premise of the show is you gather a group of acting professionals. Most of them are newcomers or they had their heyday and now maybe they're falling off a little bit. They get booked onto this show and they're doing skits, mini dramas, and they're doing improv acting, and you have this panel of judges of world-renowned actors who are going on to judge their acting ability, not just their influencer count, but like genuine their profession. And she actually made me cry.
That's crazy, right? Thinking back.
Yeah, they had this, they called it Performance City, and all of the contestants were to go into this massive fake city, and they could go through the costume department and dress up in whatever their character were to be, and the judges would walk around while they're improving these different character storylines. She chose one that was very emotionally gripping. A lot of the other characters, they were couples who were fighting or selling peas and selling all these other, like, street vendors, and none of it was that particularly good. She was very smart, and she was very believable. So she dressed up in what I guess you would call back in the day like a beggar, and she had a sign up.
On her sign that she held up above her head, there's misspelling of a word, but she did it on purpose to show that she's undereducated as this character.
And it was really well done. She never broke character. It was freezing cold in there, and she was shivering because she was that dedicated to the character. I cried watching that because I just felt like it was so good. That's her. She has been placed at the scene of the crime. Whether it's true or not, I'm just going to give you what people have found online. There have been rumors circulating long before she was even on that show that I didn't know about, but they said that Song Yiren's personal and professional lives were vastly different. They were just saying it's weird. They said online her career is very much girl next door, soft girl image. Oh, I've never seen anything inappropriate. Like that was always strongly associated with her. But sometimes other co-stars and other friends would talk about her, and they would let it slip that her nickname for a really long time was Xiao Taimei.
Xiao Taimei.
What does that mean specifically?
It's like the bad kids in school. She's like the head of it. The bully in K-drama.
Yes.
Like that's the vibe.
Okay, yes. Yeah, our researchers were having a hard time trying to describe it too. One of them said it's like the direct translation would be like little bad girl. Others were saying, no, it's like head bully.
Head bully,
Like
yes.
head bully girl is the vibe. Like it's just not it's actually very mean. It's not a nice, you don't get pride from being called that. But Song Yiren actually went on a live stream once and said, yeah, like that's what I used to be called, but that's when I was young. I've grown up. I don't do that anymore. I was out there drinking, clubbing, partying every day. I dyed my hair blonde, but I don't do that anymore because that's what I did when I was young.
I don't buy that. Pretty girls are fucking dangerous, especially when they have power and like they grew up bullies. If you grow up being a bully, being a mean girl, if you then become famous, I mean, you never got punished for that behavior. So what does that teach you? Like if you made it this far while behaving that way, that reinforces that kind of behavior. So guess what? Guess how she probably was in the industry. If you don't give her what she wants, she's going to continue to behave that way. Be really predatory, very mean. Yeah, very mean. There's no other way to put it.
But I don't do that anymore because that's what I did when I was young, which has been a huge debate online with some people saying, actually, I went to school with her because she went to school abroad in Canada. And she, smoking, drinking, and dyeing her hair was the least crazy thing that she did. She actually went around bragging to all of the people at her school that she slept with 50 different guys. She was 17 at the time. It's just what an internet user...
Oh my, at 17? Having a 50 body count? It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy. That's disgusting in my opinion. That's disgusting. It doesn't matter. Again, regardless if you're a woman or if you're a man, that's just, what are you doing, bruh? If that's true that she slept with around 50 different guys. No, that's not a flex. That's disgusting.
She was 17 at the time. It's just what an internet user has alleged. But there has always been this very subtle clashing of people saying she's so different off camera, nothing fits her online persona. Even former alleged classmates came out and said, look, I'm not going to badmouth her. I'm not going to say anything bad, but all I will say is don't believe in celebrity personas because they're all fake. One of Song Yiren's biggest scandals was last year in 2024, and paparazzi caught her going to a bathhouse with 3 guys, like a sauna. Okay, bathhouse seems like a sauna. And I think the biggest part that people thought was so scandalous was she was touching the abs of the first guy. So she'd be like talking, they're out on the street, and then she'd kind of place her hand on his chest. And then she would hold the wrist of another guy walking. And then later that night, there was another third guy, and she was spotted touching his arm. They dramatically described this as feeling him up, feeling him down, just grope.
Girl. Yeah, she's being a pick-me, low-key. Girl, stop being easy. She's behaving like a man, like a thirsty-ass dude.
Nevertheless, it was feeling...
Who hasn't busted a nut in like A year?
Feeling him down, just groping, caressing. I mean, nevertheless, it was a pretty interesting, unique, scandalous situation for a female celebrity in China to be caught photographed in, especially someone who presents herself as this very innocent, soft girl next door. So a new theory has come about recently that Song Yiren is a madam. She befriended Yu Menglong in an effort to finally seal the deal and get Xin Qi, the powerful executive, what he wants, which is Yu Menglong. She's going to lure her friend. So people are saying that she is the madam. She is an actress. So she rubs shoulders with all these actors and actresses. She befriends them. She has this very...
Oh, so she was pimping. She was gonna lure Yu Menglong to basically do the nasty stuff with the Shinchi guy, the rich man that wanted Yu Menglong. She was pimping.
disarming personality. And then she's like, you know what, come out, come hang out with me, come to my place. And at her place, they'll be introduced to an executive who has always had their eyes on them. And she knows this because she is the middleman. And she's like, oh my gosh, you guys should meet. Oh, this is an investor, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you come to this dinner party? They're pouring drinks. There are further conspiracies and allegations that perhaps the drinks are drugged. Perhaps it's full on essay. Other times people are saying she's just the middleman connecting these two parties. And hopefully it's consensual most of the time. But clearly, if that were the case with Yu Menglong, that's not what's happening. But they think that she is a madam. They think that that must be the way she makes money. Because here's an interesting discovery that it's been made. Song Yiren, she lives in the same apartment complex as where Yu Menglong passes away. But she doesn't just live in the same apartment complex. She lives in the same building from which he allegedly falls to his death. And there's more about that. She claims that she moved out 9 months ago. She said, yeah, I did live there, but I moved out 9 months ago. So yeah, I did live in that building. I mean, there's pictures of her posing in that building. There's selfies she's taken. There's like this one picture where she's holding a giant acorn and it's like building 18.
She's really leaning into the manipulation here with like appearing as cute and innocent to the public. I feel like she was trying to give off like, oh, I'm so small, I can barely pick up this acorn.
And it's like building 18. And again, it could be photoshopped, but she has said, I moved out 9 months ago. So we don't know if maybe the building number was photoshopped and maybe it was a different building, but it doesn't seem like, it seems like it was that building. There are other allegations that she never moved out, and there are other photos circulating of an apartment unit where in East Asia, there's a lot of times where you just hang dry your clothes. So you get one of those like drying tables and it's up against the window of one of the apartment units, and there's this blue dress shirt and white pants that are hang drying in front of the window. Someone had snapped a photo of it for whatever reason, and they believe that those clothes belong to Yu Menglong, because he was photographed wearing similar clothes. And they think that for the past month before his death, he was being bounced around, somewhat being held captive, not necessarily chained up, not necessarily like, I'm gonna tie you up so you can't leave, but being watched and held captive under likely verbal threats. Like, if you try to leave, I'm gonna ruin your career. So it's not like the door is padlocked, but perhaps he can't. And they think that Song Yiren was one of the people holding him captive. I do think that this conspiracy theory does get crazier and crazier, but one thing to note is a lot of people were confused. She's on an acting competition show. She's not a major celebrity. She's a small-time actress. How can she afford to live in an apartment building like this to even begin with? So people think, well, that's because she makes her money not from being an actress, but from being a madam, right? That's what people think, but they still are wondering, okay, let's say she's a madam. She gets money from these executives. She tries to force all these other celebrities into sleeping with executives. That still doesn't explain why she wouldn't be the fall guy. Because people are like, let's be real. If there's executives involved and she is just a madam, she'd be the fall guy. There would be some sort of narrative of she got jealous, she pushed him, or she was the only one at that dinner party left, everybody already left, and then they got drunk, maybe they were doing drugs. Like, she would be the fall guy. Because there's so much suspicion. Why not have a fall guy? So there comes the suspicion that her parents are very well connected. She moved to Canada when she was young. Her dad was a professor and in the medical field. I believe he's a doctor.
Why are so many rich Asians in Canada? I've noticed this, like especially Chinese descent. This might just be an anecdotal experience, but I mean, I used to know a Chinese girl like that lives in China. I mean, that lives in Canada, and they're always rich as fuck. Like, why?
Her dad was a professor and in the medical field. I believe he's a doctor, and then at one point he was teaching, but her mom was in marketing, which is very vague. But in Canada, she went on to have this huge company where the distribution to that company, and it's very vague what the company even does, but they had tens of millions of dollars in sales within like the first few years of opening up. And people say, you don't do that just by being talented. You do that by being very well connected, by being politically connected. She has had multiple talks and conversations with business leaders and government officials who run business sectors for like international trade and foreign trade and international businesses. There are rumors that she's also very close with the First Lady of China. I don't know. I've never seen a picture of them together.
Song Yiren is?
Song Yiren's mother is very close. this literally could just be someone tweeting random, whatever they can think of and hallucinate in their brain from across the sea. I don't know. Or it could be true, or there could be 10% truth. I don't know. But I think people are saying there's no way that she wouldn't be a fall guy unless her parents are also well connected.
I know she currently is so majorly hated across the board all over China.
And it's not just because she lives or maybe previously lived in the same apartment. There's a lot of other things. The things tying her to that night is her phone strap. She's initially placed on this list of 17 people because she posted a ton of pictures outside the building, living in that same building where Yu Menglong passes away. But also there are these selfies where she's pretending to be on the phone. I don't know if she's promoting the phone, her phone strap, her face, I don't know. But it's like pretending to be on a phone. And she's posing with her phone. And her phone has the world's largest blue ribbon phone strap. I don't even know if it could be called a phone strap. It's like a giant dangling blue ribbon. It's like putting a labubu on your phone. It's that big. It's just huge.
It's a charm, right?
Yeah, it's a massive charm. And that's what it looks like. Now, eventually, a series of peephole videos start making the rounds. And I call them peephole videos because it appears that someone is inside their apartment unit filming through their peephole. When people are walking in the hallway, you just see shadows, you just see figures. It looks like a horror movie. You don't really see the people, even though they're on the other side of the door. Peephole videos go viral, and it sounds like a man crying. And you see these figures ushering this man down the hallway. And then behind them is a woman on her phone, and it looks like she's filming them because her phone is propped up all the way up. And there's just no reason for her to be holding her phone like that unless she's trying to get a signal. So it looks like she's—
You can see it.
Her phone is—
Yeah, no, like what else would she be holding? That's gotta be a phone. And what kind of phone has this long ass strapply thing to it? Any kind of big attachment to their phone like that is Song Yiren with that weird ass anal bead looking.
Propped up all the way up. And there's just no reason for her to be holding her phone like that unless she's trying to get a signal. So it looks like she's filming them. And the phone
the strap
on this wall has this giant lanyard attached to it. And people think that looks like the phone strap that Song Yiren was showing off. Otherwise, what the hell is that shadow? Now, I will say a lot of people have more or less debunked these peephole videos. They were posted by a Thai woman September 16th of 2025. So technically the timeline makes sense in that it was posted after Yu Menglong's death, because there are a lot of other leaked videos that people found the original videos to have been posted before his passing. So it wouldn't make sense because, I mean, time just doesn't work like that. But timeline-wise, it makes sense. However, a lot of people are saying you can clearly see that this was not in China. You can clearly see that this is not in Beijing. Other people are saying this Thai woman, like, she has nothing to do with this case. If you look at her other previous videos, it has nothing to do with her. But even that has been debunked. So people are arguing, well, actually, we don't know that. We don't know any of that. The person who posted it hasn't come forward to say that. If you want to muddy the waters of a conspiracy, what would you do? Pump out other stuff. Pump out more conspiracies. Make it so crazy that nobody knows what's true and what's not true. Others are saying, well, the Thai woman posted it because she might have friends in China who are like, I don't know what to do with this video because I can't post it. You got to post it. It doesn't really matter if the video is true or not, because I think the circumstances around his death are suspicious enough. I think even if videos are getting debunked left and right, I don't think that should make anyone feel like his death was a drunk accident like the police claim, unless there is factual information, evidence that comes out that says he was. I think that this feels like we could go in a loop. You know, people are saying, well, obviously, maybe the government is spreading misinformation, because if they spread such crazy misinformation and then they debunk it, then it's like, oh, now all the information must be fake, or it must all be crazy. Or sometimes people think the government could be spreading this conspiracy to get even more outlandish because the general population is not going to believe that aliens came down from the skies to do something. So they think there's a lot of cat and mouse between even the censoring party and the censored people, but I don't know. However, if we have to go with the safest option, which is, let's say the peephole videos are in fact completely debunked. They do not exist, or they don't exist in the context of this case. This is not Yu Menglong. This has nothing to do with this case. It's just a random video that has been connected. Let's say that's the truth. Then what connects Song Yiren to this entire incident other than the fact that she may or may not have lived in the same building? She may or may not have moved out 9 months ago. There's lots of celebrities that live inside of this apartment complex. What places her at this dinner party? August 10th, she uploads a series of photos. So this is exactly 1 month before Yu Menglong's passing. And I don't think that she knew this. It's clear that she doesn't, because you know when you upload photos, you can upload live photos. And when people click on them, it's like that awkward 3 seconds of motion and you can hear some things in the background. There's a lot of...
We touched on this very quickly at the end of her part 1. In the live photo, it captures audio, right? You can hear somebody say, he's resisting.
Selfies of her where... I don't know, maybe it's an artistic choice, but I would just never upload those as live photos. It's not cool. She just looks like she's posing very awkwardly. And then she posts a series of them. So some of them are selfies of her. Some of them are photos of all the food that she's been eating. And you can hear people in the background. They're like mini little videos. The first one that has been a giant point of contention is of her taking pictures of food. And she's talking while taking this picture. And you hear her saying, he keeps resisting. He's still resisting. Resisting what? Who is he? Then another live photo, you can hear near the end, it sounds like someone saying, It's painful or what? Like it's hurting or what? It sounds a little aggressive is what people say. And then there's almost like this smack noise right before it. Like, it's painful or what? Now, some people are saying it doesn't sound like it's painful or what. It kind of maybe sounds like hurting. People are pointing out you can kind of hear pain or some variation of hurt and some variation of a slap. It's not entirely clear, but you can almost also hear someone say no or something along that line. This has been a huge point of contention. Now, in another live photo, people think that someone in the back is saying, "Why did you kidnap Long Long?" which is Yu Menglong's nickname. I will say that one is a little bit more debatable, as people are saying, well, I don't hear it. Some people are saying, I absolutely hear it. It's been back and forth. But the he keeps resisting one, it's clear.
That one is crazy.
The audio is like as clear as this podcast. And there's another picture that has also been in that little photo dump timeline is she's at a sushi restaurant and you see a little cloth on top of someone's phone. And that phone is very specific. It's an iPhone with this silicone orange phone case on it. And that same month, Yu Menglong took a picture, someone taking a picture of him taking a picture, and it's the same phone case.
That's crazy. Wait, yo. I'm really focusing on the color. I don't know though. Couldn't that just be the platform that the towel is set on? I don't know if that's a phone necessarily. That could just be like the dish that the cloth is resting in. Like, again, I still believe this happened to Yu Menglong. But I mean, I don't know if this is necessarily the phone. This is the only thing I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Phone case. I've never seen one singular person outside of Yu Menglong have this specific phone case.
No, because the new iPhone is orange.
Yes.
So that's common. But this is before the new iPhone came out.
And
Which
it's
is
like
very
If you look closely, you can see the hole for the camera.
uncommon to see someone have an orange, bright orange phone.
It's like a orange juice color silicone phone case. So it's like a very specific texture. It's a very specific look, and it's sitting on the table, and there's a little like rolled hand towel on top of it, which makes people believe that he's still resisting. He doesn't have control over his phone. They took his phone and they're slapping him around to do whatever it means. These are the live photos that make Song Yi-ren part of the 17 list. Now, she does go back and she edits this original post. These pictures are still boldly up. I mean, I don't know if it's just maybe she thinks it makes her look less guilty if she doesn't take it down, but they're still up. The comments read, "This is the most popular Song Yi-ren will ever be." Who are you talking about resisting? Who's resisting, huh? Explain, who is resisting? Others are commenting, hell is empty because all the demons are here. Netizens also report that Song Yi-ren has a personal alternate account on Weibo, where she allegedly starts asking people who are questioning her online. So let's say Song Yi-ren, someone's commenting, Song Yi-ren, why are you doing this? Why were you there? Tell us, why are you so evil? And then this random account that people have connected with Song Yi-ren keeps commenting, what are you? To the person who hates Song Yi-ren. What are you? If you don't want your personal information exposed, be good. Otherwise, you won't even know how you died.
Did Song Yi-ren say that? Dude, Song Yi-ren was on her alt and just like telling this guy to kill himself.
It's unclear if this account is truly hers and if these messages were actually sent. We don't even really know where she is right now. Clearly, she has not been detained. She has not been really questioned. Sometimes her social media accounts IP show that her location is in Jiangsu, China. Other times it shows Japan. So people were very briefly confused. Like, is she fleeing the country? Did she flee to Japan to try and get away from all of this? Or is she changing her VPN so that she can throw people off from her location? Song Yi-ren has come out to state that she has nothing to do with any of this. In her statement, she says, recently I've been bombarded with online rumors, accusing me of introducing these big bosses to entertainers and luring people to drink and conspiring, fleeing abroad to Japan, even calling me a murderer. These rumors and obscenities are suffocating me, significantly impacting my work, my daily life. I'm experiencing unbearable online violence. In reality, I wasn't there. I wasn't at the dinner. Like everyone else, I only learned of Yu Menglong's passing that morning. To offer condolences to the deceased and to clarify matters, I hereby issue the following warning regarding these online rumors. The background noise in the live photos are not related to the incident. One photo in question, it was me and 3 of my friends having dinner at a public restaurant. During the meal, one of my friends was complaining about her husband. So she's saying, you know, he's still resisting.
Oh, the friend is saying her husband is still resisting?
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
What?
Yeah. I thought the best case scenario for her defense, the best case would be like, oh, I was talking to this guy and he doesn't like me, but I'm still going to pursue him. He's still resisting. It's still alarming to say in that phrase. But I can't think of, or like maybe a deal. You're like trying to get a deal done and you're like, oh, he's still resisting the con. It's still weird. But like the way that she said my friend was talking about her husband, it makes it even more unbelievable. What is your husband resisting? Maybe he's resisting buying a Porsche. I don't know. You know, but it's just the amount of coincidences in these live photos don't make sense. Another photo, she says, I was eating with my assistant in a restaurant. There were waiters and other guests around. I don't even know. I was completely unaware of what was being said at the time. So she's saying the smacking sounds and the what, is it painful or what? She's saying, I don't know. Those are just like waiters and other people at the restaurant when I was recording this, I was taking this photo. I have nothing to do with it. She said, I used to live on a high floor in that building. I didn't live in that unit where people are pointing out the pictures of the clothing that they saw that matches Yu Menglong. She says, I lived on a high floor. So this is like her way of disproving it. She's like, I lived on a high floor. That's where I took photos of my daily life, but I moved out 9 months ago. I haven't lived there in a very long time. There are some low light photos circulating on the internet. Those are not of me. This seems like she's referring to the peephole videos. I am a Chinese citizen. I have been in Beijing since the incident, and I have not fled abroad. I don't know any so-called political tycoons. At work, I have always relied on myself, and I have not done anything weird. After being cyberbullied, I've never deleted or edited any content or photos I posted on social media. I want to thank the social media platforms for their legal and regulatory cleanup of rumors after the incident. Because of my contract with the former agency expired in June this year, I was unable to speak from the company or studio. In response to this urgent emergency, I believe that if I come out to clarify, it might have been easier to focus on me. So she's saying the reason that I didn't come out forward sooner to talk about all of this and to try to disprove all these rumors is because I thought that if I came out during the wake of this tragedy, all the attention would be on me. And it would fall into larger scale online bullying and questioning. So I decided to wait until the dust settles before responding. Spreading rumors and online violence will only cause more innocent people to be implicated and hurt. After going through so much, I really hope that the person who spread rumors can apologize. I've reported the case to the Public Security Department and have entrusted a lawyer to take legal measures. In short, she denies all allegations. She says that she's still in Beijing. She has nothing to do with Yu Menglong's passing. In fact, if you utter so much as a word about it, she's probably going to sue you. That's her threat, at least. I will say September 28th,
Sue me, bitch. Nah, don't do that.
She's probably going to sue you. That's her threat, at least. I will say September 28th, a new drama, The Moment I Met You, starring Song Yi-ren, went up and immediately gets taken down 48 hours later. People are boycotting this drama to hell and back. What's crazy is she's just gone back to posting normal photo dumps of her daily life.
Really?
Acting like none of this is happening. People are commenting, no more live photos? Oh, so you're just going to pretend nothing happened? And they also bring up Dylan Wang in a lot of her comments. So I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening with Dylan Wang? If you guys don't know, Dylan Wang is another very beloved actor in China, and he's huge. He also did a lot of fantasy shows too. Dylan Wang and Song Yi-ren were on a reality TV show together previously. And this clip is so weird. He is sharing the story about how he was invited to a gathering at Song Yi-ren's house previously, before all of this. And everybody is like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like tell us about it. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it was like this weird, she was having a party. And the whole time, Song Yi-ren is sitting next to him and she starts looking very uncomfortable. It's like she starts fidgeting, she starts taking sips of her tea, she starts looking side to side and kind of smiling sheepishly. And he's not exposing her for anything. He's just like, there was this one incident where she was saying, you guys are tired. Everyone come over and I prepared these foot baths for everyone.
Okay, just to clarify, Dylan Wang and Song Yi-ren is on a reality show.
Yes.
They're sitting there sharing a story with a group of other celebrities. And this story is making Song Yi-ren looking a little uncomfortable because it's not a good, positive story about her.
Yeah. And so he's like, I thought it was so sweet of her because we had been working all day. And she's like, I just want to do something nice for everyone. Like, I just want to get a foot bath for you, right? So he goes over to the party and everyone's like, there's a foot bath. And he's like, oh, this is so sweet. Everyone's like, put your feet in the bath. Put your feet in the foot bath. Put your feet in the foot bath. He's like, oh.
Is this a common thing or no for Americans or no?
A foot bath? Oh, maybe, perhaps not.
It's like a soaking tub with hot water.
It's like, maybe it's a more...
It's a very common thing we do growing up. Like after a long day, steaming hot pot of hot water, you dip your feet in there. It's like relaxes your whole body.
It's like, also in Korea, they say it releases toxins. I guess it would be taking a regular bath, but obviously just your feet. You just roll up your pants, right?
Yes.
And
so it's like a very relaxing, calming, treatment.
I do want to say there's no like sexual connotations or anything weird about a foot bath. It's just a foot bath. And it's like you go to a manicure or a pedicure. And so he's like, okay, everyone is very excited about me putting my feet in the foot bath, right? And there's a lot of people there. So he's like, okay, he rolls up his pants and puts his feet in the foot bath. And everyone starts laughing and cheering wildly as if like this is the most revolutionary thing that has ever taken place. And yes, Dylan Wang is a revolutionary person, but like him putting his feet in a foot bath it wouldn't warrant such a response. So he's looking around really uncomfortably and confused, and turns out it was a very mean prank. Every single person had dipped their stinky feet into that foot bath before Dylan Wang, and this was, I guess, some sort of, I don't even know what kind of joke this was.
Yeah, and it seems like it was Song Yi-ren's idea, or this is her way of, I don't know what it was.
I think that it's just not nice. And so she looks uncomfortable because her entire celebrity persona is being this nice, sweet girl. And now people are saying Dylan Wang has warned us from the beginning. He probably didn't know anything dark, but he probably knew that she was not exactly who she presents, of this nice girl next door. And he shared that story as like, this is weird. Like, I felt uncomfortable by that and I didn't like that, which is understandable. And people have been commenting his name in the comments. They've been bringing up this clip and she's still acting like nothing has happened, going about posting her normal life. And to do that, you really have to know the right people, which again comes up. The internet thinks that her parents are heavily politically connected. And on top of that, she has a very close friend of hers. This is the person that got her into the Beijing Film Academy. Director Cheng.
The rare hair director, right?
Yes.
Red 40, Roblox. So they're tied together.
From
Okay.
the Beijing Film Academy. Director Cheng.
The rare hair director, right?
Yes, from the WeChat text messages.
See, they all run in the same circle, these people. That's why.
And they're all such close friends. They were friends since she was 13. He was like 30 something.
What the fuck are you? What the? Dude, I'm sorry. Like, they're both potentially monsters, but like she's dangerous because like she's very cute, obviously. Like, she has that very cutesy ass like face. She can lure you in with her looks. But this guy, god damn. If I was to see this guy in real life, in my head, I would probably be like, Jesus Christ.
So he gets her into the Beijing Film Academy. They're very close friends since then. And that places both him and her and Xinqi all at the scene of the crime, allegedly. But there's another one. There is a famous singer by the name of Fan Shiqi.
Fan Shiqi, yeah.
Fan Shiqi. We're going to call him Singer Fan. Singer Fan has the world's strangest picture that I've ever seen in my life.
Do you know that they actually were from the same?
Yes, they're from the same. Oh.
So they were in the, I think it's Superboy, the
Yes.
same show that is what got them famous.
And it seems like they've had somewhat of a friendship since the very
Yeah.
beginning. Like, everyone assumed that they were close friends. There didn't seem to be any sort of bad blood or any sort of tension on that show. It seemed like they got along well. And it periodically throughout their career, I think they've had run-ins, and nobody had any suspicion of anything bizarre happening. But there is this very strange picture of Singer Fun. It's a selfie of him in the car with sunglasses on. I don't think it's particularly an attractive picture, but the caption reads, "Ever since I was little, I swore that I would kill anyone who's more handsome than me. Until today, my sword still hasn't been used. Hashtag fun shichi. Hashtag early days. Hashtag just handsome." So this is the type of guy that he is, okay? But then recently, what placed him at that dinner party was this leaked video. There's lots of voices in the leaked video, and people are saying this is the torture before Yu Menglong's death.
They're saying spit it out. You know what else we talked about in part 1? Yu Menglong potentially having swallowed the USB with the evidence about the money laundering. So we were probably hearing, it was probably that ordeal that was going on. Like, oh gosh, he swallowed the evidence. He doesn't want to hand it over. So that's when they got the private doctor to come in, open up Menglong's stomach and extract it.
A lot of people are saying there's just no way that Yu Menglong died from falling off the 5th floor. That's been a huge conspiracy, is that people have this theory that he was tortured to either A, get information out of him, such as a USB. Remember, I went over that theory. People think that Yu Menglong finally found money laundering evidence between Xinqi and everybody else, and he downloaded it into a USB and said, I want out of this. I don't want any of this. I don't want to go to drinking parties with anyone. I just want to have a normal career. Keep me out of this. He brings the USB. They want to get the USB out of him. He swallows it, and they're trying to torture him to see if maybe he can spit it up. Maybe he needs to tell them if there's another copy elsewhere. That's been a huge running theory. Another running theory is that they're just torturing him because they like it, or perhaps they want him to consent to sleeping with them, and he just won't. There's this audio, leaked audio, where you hear what sounds like Singer Fun's voice, and it's saying, "You're lucky that I didn't beat you to death. As a man, it's just a little blood. What's the big deal? It's not a fucking thing." A lot of people say it sounds just like Singer Fun, and it is a very venomous way of talking. I don't know if this is AI generated. I don't know. I mean, with cases these days, specifically cases where authorities will not come out and confirm or deny anything, it's getting so crazy with AI. The amount of times that we have to look for frame by frame to see if we can spot any sort of discrepancy that would indicate that it's AI generated. But even then, it's not like I specialize in discovering that. Like, I barely know anything. So it's just been so difficult, and
then
there's
the fact
so many.
that we've run into even like there are real photos, and then people use AI to make that photo move. So now it's like, oh, that looks like the video because it looks just like that photo. And then we have to look frame by frame, and then we turn out it was AI, it was fake. I don't know how it's gonna be in 6 months.
I mean, 6 months is bad. Like 6 years would be so...
Yeah.
Yes, so bad. This one specifically, I think it was, I was talking to you about it. It was the craziest thing. We were all sitting there and I was like, something about this is so weird. This is the video that gets Singer Fun roped into all of this. He's saying all of this, and Yu Menglong, you hear dog howling, and then Yu Menglong's voice comes out, and it's the weirdest, calmest voice, and he says, "Oh, Fuli is here to save me." Fuli is his dog. So people were saying, listen to this entire leaked video. This guy, Singer Fun, is torturing Yu Menglong, bleeding, making him bleed. He's like, oh, blood's nothing, right? And then the dog starts barking, and Yu Menglong is like, my dog is here to save me. And then you hear just seconds and minutes of
The dog video's coming.
the sound of a dog howling and Yu Menglong wailing, like sobbing. And it sounds like his dog is being tortured in front of him.
Oh shit, it's here.
鸡巴什么呀？徒弟来救我了，没鸡巴打死你就不错了，他妈忍着点吧，没鸡巴事。大男人他妈流血算鸡巴什么？
But then it gets confusing. Because that whole part where he says, Fuli is here to save me, his dog's name Fuli, that's from his live stream. So we don't know how much of this video is accurate. Singer Fun saying that, it sounds like him, could be AI, but it sounds like him, but it could be AI, we don't know. And then this part seems like it was edited in because it sounds just like him saying it in his live stream where he's cooking and then he sees his dog and he's like, oh, Fuli is here to save me. And it's just calm. It doesn't match the tone of the rest of the video. But then when you have the dog howling and Yu Menglong crying, it sounds like him.
Yeah.
It sounds like him crying. So it's like, what is it possible that 80% of this video is true and the 20% is edited? Is it possible that 90% is true? Is it possible that only 50% is true? And if any part of it is true, that's already very alarming. And then there has been this conspiracy that's been running around, which I've been talking to you about like people saying, oh, well, it's been debunked. Well, has it really been debunked? Who said it's debunked? Another big problem with this case is there are speculations that the people in power, perhaps even the government, they take a very real audio clip and they intentionally fake it. Because they're like, this audio clip is probably going to get out there somehow. Someone's leaking information, so it's going to get out. So why don't we put it out first, but we insert some fake audio, throw it out there. Some internet sleuth is going to say, wait, this is fake, this is fake. And now this whole audio that would have been leaked as real is now fake.
Yeah.
Because we edited in this random little word in there.
Yeah.
That you can hear from his other live stream.
Yeah, that's a very easy way for them to invalidate anything that's even real, right?
And it's a very smart way of doing it.
Yeah.
Because now it makes everybody question. And I see people fighting in the comments. So it's been a whole thing of like, how much of it can we trust even if it is debunked? And like, what part of it is debunked? It doesn't mean the whole video is debunked. We don't know. But it does connect.
What I was suspecting low key, because like the voice did sound fake. Like it sounded like it was edited in, like him saying, Fuli, like Fuli's here to save me. Something that I was kind of suspecting could have happened is the person that posted the video maybe wanted to, in a way, communicate to the viewer, the person that was listening to the audio, to know when the dog was walking into the room, kind of like a marker that then prompts you to listen for the dog. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. The audio was real, but then they edited that part in there to be like, oh yeah, okay, this is the part where the dog comes in, so listen for dog sounds now.
What part of it is debunked? It doesn't mean the whole video is debunked. We don't know. But it does connect to another leaked video. So in the video, people believe that Singer Fun was torturing Yu Menglong and later tortured the dog in front of Yu Menglong, ultimately killing the dog in front of Yu Menglong. And the reason that people believe that part of the audio is real is because there's another video, a recording outside of Yu Menglong's residential window. And this is from allegedly a neighbor of Yu Menglong. And again, this could be fake, this could be real, this could be half fake, we don't know. But you just hear muffled wailing and it sounds like Yu Menglong sobbing, Fuli, I'm so sad, I can't do this, I'm so miserable, Fuli is his dog's name. There's so much blood, you killed my dog. I'm going to insert the audio, but just a trigger warning, skip ahead maybe 30 seconds. I don't know how good AI content is getting, but the sounds sound very visceral. It doesn't sound like AI generated screaming. It sounds gut-wrenching.
Here we go.
But this makes people believe.
Yeah, I think I showed that audio / video in part 1 as well.
But this makes people believe that Singer Fan is there and that they killed Yu Menglong's dog to get him to comply. People are now asking Singer Fan in his comments, what is 12 years of friendship to you? Your shameless betrayal and lies have been exposed. But what's crazier is that 4 days after Yu Menglong's passing, Singer Fan posts on Weibo, I'm very happy. Are you guys happy? If you're happy, are you ready to meet me in Chengdu? Which was for his next concert that sold exactly 15 tickets. The comments all read, his friend is dead. What is this motherfucker happy about?
Yeah, dude, that just smells once again so fishy. Your supposed friend of 12 years just tragically died, and then you're like tweeting, I'm so happy, who's ready to meet me? That's what your ass gets, bro. That's why your ass only sold 15 tickets, you fucking bum.
That sold exactly 15 tickets. The comments all read, his friend is dead. What is this motherfucker happy about? Ultimately, only 15 tickets were sold for that concert. They had to cancel the entire thing. His studio tried to make it seem like he had to cancel it because he's sick, but all the netizen comments read, oh, you're not feeling well? I hope you don't make it. Hope the disease defeats you ASAP. You must not get through this. Hi, Ting. People think it's weird that he has not made any sort of big statement disproving any of this. And the one thing that people think could debunk that Singer Fan is there, the dogs. If this audio is not real, then the dogs are fine. Where are Yu Menglong's beloved dogs? Like, he loves these dogs. An employee of the agency that Yu Menglong was signed with, the one that everybody hates right now, she's like, I work at the agency, but I've been a good friend of Yu Menglong's forever. She says, in fact, there was a time where I was really sad and I had some bad thoughts, and he was the one that stopped me. He was the one texting me. And so I don't believe that he would ever self-exit. So it must have been a drunken accident. Basically, that's her whole stance on all of this.
This was like the message that we're seeing when this first happened. She's the first one to come out and say, this could not be self-exit because Yu Menglong saved me when I had the thought.
But she's so convinced that it is a drunk accident, which people are saying that doesn't make sense, because if you work at the agency and you are a so-called close friend of Yu Menglong's, you would know that he would not drink that much right before a CCTV giant performance that he has the next day on a government-run television program. So you would know that. People don't like her because the dots are not connecting. But some people are open to it. They say, well, if you're such a close friend, can you tell us that Yu Menglong's dogs are fine? Because then maybe we don't need to cancel Singer Fun, and maybe we are cyberbullying him. Maybe he's innocent. Just let us know where the dogs are. Are they okay? And she comes out to say, the dogs are fine, okay? They're being taken care of by a close friend of Yu Menglong. What's very interesting right off the bat is that her posts are not being censored. Anyone asking about the dog, their posts are getting buried, it's getting deleted, it's getting wishy-washy on different platforms. Sometimes it goes down quicker than others, but she's doing full-on posts about Yu Menglong's dogs and being like, don't worry guys, Yu Menglong is gone, but his dogs are here and they're fine and they're with his friend. The posts are up. So people start asking, okay, well, if the dogs are fine, can you just ask that friend for a photo of the dogs? We just want a photo of the dogs to make sure that they're okay.
A photo, a video, just disproved a lot of things.
Yeah, just give us time and date and a photo of the dogs and we're good. And she starts commenting back, you guys are so weird. You don't think that you're so weird and ridiculous? When Yu Menglong was alive, you didn't even care about him, but now that he's gone, everyone cares about his dogs? What do you mean?
That's so gaslighty. That's just so, I hate when people do that, where it's like, whoa, you want proof? Think about how weird you guys look right now. You guys want pictures of his dogs just to satisfy your curiosity? You guys are crazy. It's so gaslighty.
Just give us a picture of his dogs. It's very evasive, to say the least. This lady is also allegedly very close with Kimmy before he passed away, suspiciously, and she just keeps repeating that all of this was a drunk accident and you guys are weird for wanting pictures of the dogs, for wanting proof of life of the dogs. She's a screenwriter for the agency, but others have been coming out to say, I don't think so. I think she's politically well connected. I think she is actually running a lot of the show behind the scenes, because the way that she's coming out to make these bold statements and claims, you're not just a screenwriter from the agency. Even the chairman of the agency stepped down because of all this happening. And this screenwriter gets to go online and say all sorts of things, and she hasn't been fired. They're just letting her do this. Are you the one running things? And to that, I mean, you could just play it off as a very goofy rumor. Like, if you are genuinely just like an employee at a company and people accuse you of being Jeff Bezos, it's just like this is so goofy. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm not even going to pay attention to it because of how unrooted in reality it is. That would be a typical response. But instead, she starts commenting like, someone who's saying stuff like that probably has never been inside of an office before. No common sense at all. It's very defensive.
Yeah.
Which makes people think, is it true then? It doesn't make sense. She's also very unhinged, I will just say. She goes on to post a certificate of a star that she had purchased. And she says, Prince has his own planet now. And it's just a picture of a star certificate.
Yeah, like, you know how you can purchase like a star, in the space.
And it's for Yu Menglong. And there is a giant star emoji on there covering something, which is already strange. And on the certificate, it reads, Dear Yu Menglong, you are everything when you are with me. And everything is you when you are not. Does that sound like just a thing that you do when you work together? Like, you are just colleagues. You're a screenwriter for an agency, he's talent for the agency. Sure, you guys can have a friendship, but to put that on the star is very odd. People looked up the coordinates, and the star is you know how she put that giant emoji covering it? People look up the coordinates, and that star is not just called the Yu Menglong star. It's Yu Menglong and her name together on the star. Then at the very end, there is another word. It's an Arabic word. I'm gonna butcher it.
Like, she literally named the star. It's almost like Stephanie plus Panda.
Yeah.
This is so chilling.
Yeah. And she puts this Arabic word. Apparently it means like, you bury me. It's supposed to be a very romantic and somber way of saying, I hope to die before you so that you can bury me, because if you leave first, I can't live without you. It's like a very strong.
What the fuck?
It's like a very strong romantic gesture of like, I will not be okay if you're gone. So you must be the one to bury me. Netizens were so irked by all of this because, well, for one, it's just creepy. Like, what do you mean you guys work together and you bought a star and you're putting all these different romantic connotations and you seem like you're more higher up in the agency than you want to lead on? And also, why can't you just give us a picture of the dogs? And we hate this star.
Ooh, what if what if she was being petty? If she bought this after, she's behaving like one of those like toxic people in relationships where it's like, can't you just say sorry? He's like, oh, fine, I'm sorry that you're so fucking sensitive, bitch. People are asking her to care. People are asking her to fucking show pictures of the dog, like we're worried for him. And then this is her way of like, in a very petty way, going like, like, fine, like, actually, I care more about his death than all of you. See, look, I bought this fucking star with our names together on it, so it looks like we're in love. There, huh? There.
Netizens were so irked that they bought their own star and they named it Little Fish, which is Yu Menglong's nickname. Yu means fish in China, so they call him Little Fish. Now, side note, it is said that she has a second account that she uses frequently, and September 10th, she writes, "The last time is terrifying. You won't know it's the last time. There is no goodbye, no signs, just regrets. Good night."
She posted that message on September 10th, which is the night before Yu Menglong was murdered. Weirdo.
That's a very cryptic message before everything went down the next day.
Yeah, before the first post goes up at around...
Not a week before, not a couple nights before, so she could have some more deniability. Exactly the night before. That's just weird.
11 in the morning the next day. She posts this allegedly on her alleged second account. There's no way to prove that this is her account. There's no way to prove that this has any relation to the Yu Menglong case, but if it is, it seems like she knows a lot.
Yeah, this woman is so weird.
Yeah.
Just like the dog thing to me.
Oh, ew. Dude. Dude, she's actually weird.
Just like the dog thing to me is the biggest red flag. She inserted herself into this whole dog thing. She's like, no, the dogs are not dead. And then as soon as people are asking for a photo, she got so mad. And she's yet to send a photo, which is such an easy thing to do.
She could easily just...
The husband is spitting right now. Husband is spitting.
Or you just even ask the friend for a photo.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up.
This places her also on that list. People don't know if she was there that night. People don't know if perhaps she just knows a lot, coordinated a lot. A lot of netizens are on the belief that she knew more than she's leading on, that she knew more than September 11th. Morning came around, paparazzi released the information. They think that either she was called that night or she was there that night. Then we have the red-haired director. We're coming back to him. So the reason that he's placed at the scene is because he's always harassing young men. It seems like he was very into Yu Menglong. And another thing is, there is a picture of him at a fashion show the next day after Yu Menglong's passing, and these are paparazzi photos, and there appears to be what looks like blood on his shoes. Like if you were to step in blood and it would dry on your shoes. It's not like splattered where he would even notice. It's not so obvious where it's like, oh, no, that seems like a design choice, or that seems like this. It just seems like on the very edge, near the sole of his shoe, coming up the ridges a little bit of his sneakers, it looks like he stepped in something dark and red.
It is weird. I mean, I don't remember last time I got red on my shoes.
It's a very specific color.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. It's not like brown and dirt, it's red. And he's best friends with Hong Yuren, who has also been placed at the scene. So everyone, and remember September 10th, that night, he posts delicious, like yummy on Weibo. So again, that puts him at that scene. And then there's a new photo that starts circulating. In neighborhood forums and later on social media platforms, one of the biggest questions was, who the hell are these two guys holding hands at the scene of the crime? Which, by the way, it's not really a scene of the crime because the investigation has closed it as a drunk accident, but most people...
Why is bro sitting like that?
Who the hell are these two guys holding hands at the scene of the crime? Which, by the way, it's not really a scene of the crime because the investigation has closed it as a drunk accident, but most people think it's the scene of the crime. They're like, who are these two dudes?
Can you explain the photo again?
Yes.
Like the situation, what are we talking about?
Of course. So this is... A lot of neighbors had gone to that building to try and see what's going on, investigate, and all the police are trying to tape it off. They're not even letting security in. It's very controlled. But outside the building, you see building 18, and at the very bottom, right before the door opens, before you get into the building, there's a bunch of police officers scattered about, and you see this man in white, and he has his back turned toward the camera, so you can't really see his face, and he's sitting on what looks like the ledge. It's a little sidewalk ledge. And then a man in black is standing next to him, and you only see his side profile. And he's like holding his hand. They look like they're caressing, comforting each other. But it's not this deep sense of profound comfort of, we are in immense grief, let's cry together. It's almost like those jokes of the young couple at Disneyland lines. Like you always see that weird high school couple that's like all up on each other and you're like, whoa, this is Disneyland, what's going on? Like, please, let's be appropriate. Like it feels like that. It's like they're just like holding each other's hands. It's not that inappropriate, but it's like, it's weird.
Yeah, like guys, why are we being gay at a crime scene? It's really weird.
So people thought it was really weird, but they're like, who the hell are these two guys holding hands? Because they must have been at the dinner party. The guy in white, obviously you can't see him because his back is turned to the camera, but the man in black, you can see his side profile, and people are saying it looks just like director Chang. Now, a little bit of context. The man in black has black hair. Director Chang has bright flaming red hair, and he comes out to say, you guys, I have had this flaming red hair for years. I've never had black hair. I didn't have black hair September 10th, September 11th, and I don't have black hair now. People are saying, okay, well, we didn't see you September 10th and September 11th, so we don't know if maybe you just dyed your hair back. But I will say the day after, when he did go to the fashion show, he did have red hair. So he's saying, that's not me, but people still believe he was there that night because of the delicious comment that he made on Weibo, that random post. He's friends with Hong Yiren. He's known to be very creepy, and a lot of people believe that he was trying to sleep with Yu Menglong.
And allegedly, I don't know if it's true or not, I read that when Kimi passed away, he also posted delicious on Weibo.
Not only that, he was obsessed with Kimi as well. People are
Really?
saying that his obsession moved on from Kimi after his passing to Yu Menglong. He was obsessed with Kimi, still posts about Kimi
Wait, who's Kimi?
on his anniversary of his passing, posts all sorts of nonsense. And this has actually been a huge point of contention. After Yu Menglong's passing, he posts about Kimi. And people are like, why is he posting about Kimi? Because it's making him look more suspicious. So not only do we think that you are connected to Yu Menglong's passing, we also think you're reminding us that we think that you're connected to Kimi's passing.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, because the whole world thinks you did this to Yu Menglong. And you brought up another singer that passed.
Oh, it's the other actor. Oh, okay. Oh, and then Stephanie's husband just said that it was alleged that he had also tweeted out Yummy when Kimi died. So it's kind of weird that he did the same thing with Yu Menglong.
And you brought up another singer that passed under very...
Suspicious
Yeah.
circumstances.
That's a really weird action when people are thinking, yeah.
People are thinking that's his way of telling people, the very powerful people, you know you need to protect me. Because he's getting a lot of the heat. Him and Hong Yiren and the singer fan are getting a lot of heat right now. Because there's just a lot more to dig through. A lot of the other people, yes, they're powerful, they're well connected allegedly, but
Oh my God,
there's
that
not
makes
a lot
so
of
much sense
there's
now.
not a lot of conversation about them because you don't really know
Yes.
that much about them. You don't have them doing interviews, you don't have them doing outrageous things on camera, you don't have social media posts.
So the
to
message
study.
is not for the public, it's for those people
Yeah.
who's involved, you know, allegedly. Wow.
It's the allegation is like, hey, you remember what I know? Let's not forget what I know.
What exactly is he posting? Do
He's
you
posting
know?
about, like, I've talked to Kimi's parents, posted this video because he should have turned 37 this year, but he's gone. And I'm just posting, he will forever be youthful, which again, people think is weird because he does have an obsession with young boys, men, right? It was just like very vague and weird stuff to the point where people are like, okay, we think he's posting this to remind these powerful people since he is one of the few getting dragged through the mud. Don't forget that I know a lot of stuff too. But if he's not the guy in the black shirt, because people are saying, we think that he was there, but we don't think he's the guy in the black shirt. I mean, like the side profile is alarmingly similar, but you're right, he does have black hair and director Chang always has red hair. Who are these two guys holding hands at the scene of the crime? That's where Ji Guangguang comes in. Ji Guangguang is the owner of the apartment building in which Yu Menglong passes away from. He's a writer, screenwriter. His biggest work was, I think it's a show called Come On, You Are the Best. He's also written some books. According to an online detective, he is the homeowner and he was the host of the dinner party. And he's not necessarily the most successful, but that just means he's well connected. He's politically powerful. He loves Rolex watches. He loves spending a lot of money, but he doesn't really have the success to back it up. So, like, he must be one of the politically well-connected people as well in there. It just doesn't make sense.
So those two watches were allegedly his in Yu Menglong's pocket.
Yes, if it is true that there were Rolex
Oh yeah, and it was speculated that the two Rolexes that they found on Yu Menglong at the time of his death, it's suspected that those were their attempts at bribing Yu Menglong to hand over the evidence to keep his mouth shut.
watches, people think that it was his. He seems to be a huge fan of the brand Rolex.
That is so weird.
Shi Tao is Ji Guangguang's husband. So they think that Ji Guangguang is the man in white and Shi Tao, his husband, is the man in black comforting him. So they're at the scene. But we don't really know that much about him. We just have this rumor that Ji Guangguang's father was the former premier of the state council. So it seems like there has already been allegations at the forefront since a long time ago that he is very politically well connected. But being politically well connected is not necessarily a bad thing until now. So they get placed at that dinner party. And Ji Guangguang doesn't really make any statements that are convincing. He just goes off to immediately turn off his comment section. And people think that is...
Dude, it's just so odd. Like, seeing these pictures, it's just too much of a coincidence. All these guys, they just happen to all know each other in the same circles.
And people think that is very suspicious. There's also another photo of him where it's a very blurry photo of him inside of his apartment unit. And it looks just like what the apartment units look like in this building. It looks like the window that Yu Menglong fell out of in the back of this photo. So we've got Ji Guangguang, we've got his husband, and that husband is definitely not Director Chang. But Director Chang is placed at the scene of the crime. And then he goes on to keep fighting it. He's like, I'm not going to shut up about this. I'm going to post these WeChat photos. I'm going to show you guys my messages. And that is how Tian Hairong gets placed at the scene of the dinner
The
party.
billionaire widow
Yeah.
that allegedly also wanted Yu Menglong.
Tian Hairong, her husband was at one point one of the richest men in China. He went to prison for money laundering. He died suspiciously in prison, and she inherited billions of dollars. She has been friends with the red-haired director for at least the past 20 years. And people are saying she is the money behind all of this. I mean, yes, all of these people are politically well connected. What does that mean? They have boatloads of money. They've got a lot of it, but they're using their political connections to get away from this scot-free. They're going to have the authorities not investigate. They're going to shut it down online. It's going to be censored. But what about her? If you've got no political connections, so people are saying everyone can be the fall guy. You can be the fall guy. If people are thinking that Yu Menglong was murdered, let's give them a murderer. That's the easiest way out of this. Why does it have to be this hard? Why do we have to have all these rumors and these conspiracy theories? They want a murderer? Give them a murderer. That's usually what bad people do. So why is there no murderer being placed at the scene of the crime? Why is there no fall guy? And so you've got people thinking, okay, well, maybe Song Yiren was just a madam that was working in the business, but people are like, there's no way, because then she would have been the easiest
What
fall.
exactly is a fall guy? Oh, the scapegoat. Yeah.
Shin Chi, he might be related to the head of the administration, so there's no way he's going to be the fall guy. Director with the red hair, he's telling them straight up, allegedly online, I've got so much information, you don't want me to be the fall guy. Same with the manager, Yu Menglong's manager, maybe they know too much information. Then you've got Ji Guangguang and his husband, perhaps they're so politically well connected that they're not going to go down for it. And now you just have Ting Hairong. She's a billionaire, but it's a little bit different in China where billionaires have so much power. They do, but they don't have as much power as they would in America. They are still subject to the head of the administration. At the end of
And that's why America's the best. America #1. If you're a billionaire, if you get rich enough, you can control the government. Hell yeah.
at the end of the day, they are not the top dog. And so why can't she go down? They could just say, hey, she's a creepy widow and she was obsessed with this guy. He didn't want her because she's older and like maybe he doesn't like her. Whatever. She got enraged. She kicked him off the building. She pushed him off the building. She hired one of these random people off the street to push him off the building. They could have made her the fall guy. Allegedly, she is the pockets in all of this. Neighbors have reported that people were going around offering tens of thousands of dollars per resident to not talk to any media, to not talk to the police, and to just shut their mouth. Don't post anything. Don't go on Instagram. Don't go on Reels. Don't go on Threads, which is where a lot of people have been circulating information. Just shut up and here is money. People did calculations. You're talking about tens of millions of dollars. The only person that would have quick access to that kind of funds is Tian Hairong. It doesn't make any sense. Additionally, some people said that they didn't take the money. There are allegations that netizens there did not take any of the money. They didn't want it. And they were perhaps talking to some reporters, posting a bit online. Their tires were allegedly slashed. That has been the rumor that's been going around. They've had red paint splashed on their doors. And within days, a lot of the units in this complex go up for sale. These units are going up for sale at crazy discounted rates. People are panic selling. Now, originally the thought was, well, that makes sense. You have very bad news in an apartment complex. You don't want that to affect your equity in the house. So maybe you want to be the first few to sell before it really starts plummeting and people all want out. It's kind of like the stock market. Everyone's panic selling. That was the initial thought. But the amount of money that people would be losing, it doesn't make any sense. And also, lots of tragedies happen in Beijing at all sorts of different apartment complexes. And typically, like, you just ride the wave and like in a year, you won't lose any money. It doesn't make any sense that they would be panic selling unless they're scared to live there. They just don't want to live there because they know it is not what they're telling the internet. So why would you feel safe living there when the internet is saying, okay, these authorities are saying that he fell drunk, but you know that's not true because you heard things that night.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that it was like the neighborhood before was like they have 90 units that's listed.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, remember, the footage that we've gotten so far came from people that lived nearby or lived in neighboring complexes. So yeah, like after all of this took place, they're all trying to get the fuck out of there. Like, bro, what if I'm next? Like, that's what low-key I would think. Like, this place is not safe. That's why they're all panic selling their apartment units.
Overnight, it went to like 153 or something. Just like boom, doubled.
In like 12 hours.
That doesn't make sense. You know, something happened.
One neighbor says, I live nearby. I was contacted by them. It's not really disclosed who they are, but they gave us a lot of money. And they gave my family a lot of money for not revealing anything. We did hear the sound of something falling down that night, but security told us that one of the units was just like throwing trash away. So we just assumed it was that. They asked us to ignore the sound. Like I was saying in the beginning of the episode, the reason that people are roping Ting Hairong into all of this is that she reposted her WeChat screenshots. They don't align with everything that's been happening. That receipt of the Bulgari Hotel restaurant receipt, that was weird. And so people think, yes, you are a very suspect person, and we think that you were there at the dinner party. But she really seals the deal in the netizen opinion department when she decides to repost a statement from the police officials as a way to inadvertently declare her innocence. She reposts the police statement that they have officially arrested 3 people in connection with this case. Okay, this is like the craziest thing.
Yeah, no. In this situation, if you're gonna keep just pulling up what the police are saying as like conclusive evidence that you're innocent, you look so sus.
The police have concluded that there's no foul play. The police come out weeks later.
Okay, so in China, the police announcement is always coming out in this navy blue poster. That's like with a stamp of the police on there. That's the official statement. And that usually gives you the most credible information, as credible as the police official statement is.
And people thought that it was going to be about Yu Menglong's case. So they're like, okay, this is a long one. We see lots of words. So it must be about Yu Menglong's case, and we're finally going to get answers. And they kind of briefly touch about Yu Menglong, but more so, they just post 3 people have been detained in connection with this case. They are being investigated. One detainee fabricated a story that Yu Menglong was set up by others and injured before jumping. Another detainee fabricated a story that he was thrown off the building. And the last detainee fabricated a story that Yu Menglong's mother was being held under control, resulting in her not being able to comment on this case. All 3 of them have been placed under compulsory legal measures by the police. This is like it. That's it. All they write about Yu Menglong is after Yu Menglong's accidental fall from the building while
They were the only ones that got arrested. Everybody else on the list that have direct links to the party that night where he lost his life. Nope. Nothing. I see nothing. Nope. Sorry. No, nobody's being taken into questioning. Not even just arresting them. Maybe they don't want to go that far. They're not even questioning these people. They didn't even do that. But nah, these random ass motherfuckers on the internet that are just saying things that the government doesn't like, arrest, handcuffs.
they write about Yu Menglong is after Yu Menglong's accidental fall from the building while intoxicated. Police immediately investigated. Through scene inspection, forensic examinations, interviews, and reviewing of the surveillance footage, criminal suspicion has been ruled out. The investigation results were shared with the family, who have raised no objections. Yu Menglong's mother has also issued a statement through the studio's official Weibo account. We're going to get more on this mother's statement later on, but people are just saying, I mean, it does not take that many neural pathways to figure out that this statement is not going to be received well. Within an hour or so, there are almost 100,000 comments left under the official post, but only like 8 of them were viewable to the public.
Wow.
People have gone to repost.
Wait, how many? We saw this in part 1.
Like 8 of them were almost 100,000 comments left under the official post, but only like 8 of
287,000 comments, but only 8 of them are viewable.
Within an hour or so, there are almost 100,000 comments left under the official post, but only like 8 of them were viewable to the public.
Wow.
People have gone to repost it, and a lot of those comments read, "You should spend less time on social media and more time investigating crimes. What should I pay attention to if my friend invites me to a dinner party at their apartment in Beijing? Hey, so you guys saw nothing on the 5th floor? No stairs, no elevator, no surveillance cameras? Like, are we seeing anything?" Other people comment, there is never any sort of drinking party, only other types of parties. But what's crazy about this is Tin Hairong repost the photo of the police bulletin that they had posted on Weibo. So you've got 2 posts. You've got the police's original Weibo post of this bulletin board. She reposts that picture, and people are looking at them too, side by side, and they go, that's really strange. Because on the corner of the police post, on the corner, bottom, you see their Weibo handle, like Beijing Chaiyang Police. Then you go to her picture, and you see on the corner her username for Weibo. But it's not a bunch of jumbled words. It's not her username on top of the police username, which means she must have had the original bulletin. She must have had an original copy of what they were going to post. This is crazy because the police don't just give that out to people. Police don't.
Oh, hell no. So, yeah, the government is for real working with the police. If the police handed out first drafts to these people that were potentially involved, that's like, I don't think you guys are understanding what I'm saying. The fucking police handed you their initial draft of the public statement they were gonna release to the entire nation. They would only do that if you're very important to the case. They're like, hey, like, we're gonna release our statement tomorrow here, just so you can look at it. Let us know if there's any revisions you want us to make in case you think our statement is gonna complicate things for you.
Really like go out of their way to give their statements and official postings to people for fun. FOIAs, FOIA requests are not really a thing in China, so how could she get that if she doesn't have some sort of power over the police or some sort of connection with the police officers? Especially when you consider a reporter called the police just before this official statement was posted, asking for an update on the case. Just a status update. The police straight up tell them, look, if you're not directly related to Yu Menglong or Yu Menglong's family, I cannot disclose anything about this case. Just wait for the official announcement like everybody else. So why doesn't Tian Hairong just wait for the official announcement like everybody else and just repost it with their handle on the side just like everybody else? It doesn't make any sense. Especially when you consider that doesn't get censored, but all these different bloggers who are reposting leaked information or even journalists sharing what their sources have told them, their accounts are getting restricted or banned on social media. Fishermen on Weibo, Little Red Book, Douyin, they've all been banned. A lot of them have been deleted. Fishermen are coming out and saying, I'm trying to make a living selling fish. I go out into the deep ocean, deep sea fishing. I come back, I make little doings, I make little TikToks to bring people to my dried fish store on TikTok shop. And I have been banned, I've been suspended. Because Yu means fish, and so people trying to get around the censorship, instead of saying Yu Menglong, they've been calling him Little Fish. And they have just started banning people that have little fish or fish too often in their freaking live stream or their videos. They just start banning all of them. Even people who are, they're not even fishing. People who are selling fishing hooks, fishing lines, fishing equipment, fishing boat tour companies, all of them are getting suspended and they're getting very frustrated.
They're just so guilty. It's so bad. Like, they're going to these lengths to ensure that there is literally no way you can work around the shadow banning. There's no way for you to work around the censorship to ensure that there's no way you can mention Yu Menglong. So even if they fuck up some people's income, because some people might make a living from making videos like that, like fishing content, selling fish products, they don't give a fuck. We gotta look good. There's no way we're getting caught up in all this. All of you, ban, 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 ban. You can't search this up anymore.
And that inadvertently would trigger a deletion of accounts that would use other words. So once all the fish accounts are getting banned, people are coming forward and fishermen are very upset and they're losing their livelihood. A lot of people have started calling him something else. They're like, okay, let's try to find a different word that we could use and one that wouldn't affect too many people. One of the easiest ones was Yu Menglong's fan base originally called themselves lemons. And people are like, okay, well, lemons, there's not really lemon sellers. Like, you just go to the market and you buy a lemon. You're not going to have someone that's like, let me show you how I pick my lemons and I'm going to sell you my lemons online. I mean, I'm sure there's some lemon related businesses, but it's not going to be as vast as the fishermen. Lemon gets banned. Selling umbrellas gets banned because
they ban lemons in China.
Yu Menglong means hazy. So a lot of people have been describing him as this whole situation as hazy, as rain, as foggy. A lot of celebrities even that were close with Yu Menglong, they're not allowed to talk out, and I don't think anyone wants them to because look at what's happening. It's so scary out there. So of course no one wants their favorite celebrity to say anything and get themselves in a very dangerous position. But a lot of celebrities that were close with Yu Menglong have gone to post pictures of like foggy skies when it's raining or hazy mornings, and they'll just write, what a hazy morning. And it's kind of their way of drawing attention to it, saying like, I see it, I also am grieving, but I can't say anything.
I'm getting chills, man. I'm gonna cry. Oh, damn. So it's like artists in creative ways as to not get themselves in trouble so they can deny to the government. Like in case the government tries to say like, hey, you're trying to spread subliminal messages about Yu Menglong. They can easily say like, no, like what the fuck? Like I'm just performing. This is just pretty imagery. Like what the hell?
People have been banning selling umbrellas, lemons, fish, catching fish. It's said that if you are doing any of those or saying any of those words, even if you're not talking about Yu Menglong, if you're going at the fish market and you're talking about the different types of seafood that they're selling there, it's likely that your live stream is going to lose internet connection. One netizen jokes, but not really, it's depressing. They say, yeah, soon enough, they're probably going to even ban selling fish at the market at this rate. A lot of Chinese people actually have a term for all of this, and they say it's a serpent eating its own tail. And that's how a lot of times censorship has been described. And like, I do want to say, I think we're lucky to live in the US where censorship is maybe not as obvious of a problem, but censorship exists everywhere. Like even in the US, like there's no such thing as, I don't think there's any country that does not have censorship to any varying degree, but they say that when censorship gets really bad, it's a serpent eating its own tail. Because something is getting censored, naturally it causes everyone to wonder, why the hell is this getting censored? Which then leads to a bigger conversation of the intent of the censorship, the conspiracy theories, the dark, different allegations and suspicious points, which again, could not be true, could be absolutely true. We don't know, but this cycle starts and the conspiracies get darker and bigger. And then that conspiracy getting censored almost adds credibility to the conspiracy, and it's a serpent eating its own tail. And it's like this vicious cycle.
Oh no, yeah. Like the more you try to actively censor something to silence people, you think it's just gonna vanish like that. Like what? Like they think you're stupid. No, if you start censoring stuff, it's a cycle. You're only gonna pique people's curiosity even more. Like, like why is this specific thing being censored? Then they're gonna start wondering how bad or how deep does it go? If this little bit of shit is getting censored, it's gonna make people dig even deeper and deeper and deeper.
And it's like this vicious cycle of just, we don't know what's true, and everyone just gets hurt in the process. And it's not even like the government really benefits either. And it instills a lot of fear in citizens. I think the reason that people are very upset about this case is, I think there are lots of people who just love Yu Menglong, and I think there's a lot of people who just don't like injustice. But there's also this extreme fear in citizens of, if even this celebrity Yu Menglong's death can be covered up, so to speak, what about literally every other citizen who does not have 25, 26 million followers who care about their well-being? Who cares about them? One comment reads, if it truly were just an accident, why such heavy-handed censorship? I just don't get it. And on that note, I'm going to go through some of the rapid fire conspiracies that do get a little bit more off the beaten path. Like, these are conspiracies that I probably don't see.
798 Museum. Let's get into it. Dude, come on. Let's get into it.
Fire conspiracies that do get a little bit more off the beaten path. Like, these are conspiracies that I probably don't see as frequently connected to any other case. I think that there were times where I would get into going down the rabbit hole for these theories, and then I would have to pull myself out, and it felt very disorienting because while it does seem very detached from reality, I don't even know what to believe anymore. It's just gotten that weird. Some accounts have taken it a little unhinged. There are theories that because Yu Menglong's birthday coincides with the head of state, that he was used as a sacrifice. People have pulled a clip of the head of the administration in China stating that he believes that soon people will live to be 150 years old. And that has drawn a crowd of people to believe that there are ritual sacrifices being performed for the rich and powerful. And I know it sounds crazy, but we have the same exact conspiracy theories in the United States with sacrifices so that the wealthy could get wealthier and that they can have more success and all of these. I think it's just embedded in a lot of humans because I guess that's just what we expect from power. And they say that you can deceive the king of hell and extend your lifespan if you find someone whose horoscope matches you and you guys have the same birthday. The king of hell gets a little bit confused. So they're like, oh, I guess you're already dead. I'm not going to look for you on earth to bring you back down here. That person, they say, is known as the living mummy, living until it's time for them to be sacrificed. They say that he was killed on September 10th because it coincides with the end of the blood moon. So they think that this was a sacrifice for the head of the administration. Again, it sounds like a very crazy theory. I think we've had similar theories happen in the United States. There's no way for me to even give you any sort of concrete evidence for this type of theory. I don't know. Then there is the 798 Cube Art Museum that comes into question a lot. About 2 weeks after Yu Menglong's passing, it was recorded that someone had logged onto his Weibo account and the amount of posts that he had on his Weibo went down. So 2 weeks after he passes away, someone just deletes one thread of photos. That's weird. Which ones? And so people start going cross-referencing, they start looking, and they find it's 3 photos that are connected to Yu Menglong visiting what appears to be a museum. It looks like it actually kind of looks like he's in a rug store. If you look at these 3 photos, it's him kind of laying down or posing in front of, it looks like red rugs that are hung about and there's like rugs stacked on top of each other. It looks very artsy. At one point you see some sort of silver chains on the side. It looks kind of industrial. Maybe it looks like a rug making factory. But interestingly enough, these are the photos that disappears. Like, what's in these photos that's even weird? They try to trace the timeline of when those photos were posted, and it coincides with when Yu Menglong had gone and visited this museum called the 798 Museum. So now netizens want to know, what the hell is the 798 Museum in Beijing? What's going on in that museum, and why would someone want to delete pictures that he took inside that museum? They're not even controversial pictures. They're like modeling shots. They're like celebrity selfies. Like, it doesn't make any sense. People find one review because it was very hard to find what's going on inside that museum. Like, people are saying, oh, we think this is what was happening in that museum, but it was definitively, like, some people were saying, no, I think that's a different museum. There was lots of back and forth of like, I don't think that's a museum. I think that's a fake picture. I think that's AI generated. September 6th, somebody does review an exhibition from the website of the art museum. See, that's another thing. People are trying to track down which exhibit he went to and like why they would delete it, because art museums have different exhibits.
Yeah, it changes all the time.
Yes. So if they don't find the exact one that he had went to, then like it might not mean anything. So they're like trying to find the meaning of this exhibit. Like, what is this exhibit? So they find one from September 6th, which was still the exhibit that was in operation when he had gone. And they say, this reviewer says, location is great, parking is great, transportation is great, ticket is cheap, I highly recommend. And the photos that the user posts are literally just torture scenes of human bodies. They're not real human bodies, so we think, right? I mean, so I think, but there are some people who think they are. I don't know. It is just like gruesome, looks like horror movie. There is one where it just looks like a man's face has just blown apart. And they look very graphic, and they look real and they don't look real. They look
I actually showed the image in part 1. I don't know if Stephanie's gonna show any of the art pieces. Like I said, I only showed one in part 1. But yeah, it's speculated that the art pieces in this museum are actual human bodies, like actual flesh from human bodies, from their victims. So it's like, it's speculated, one of the conspiracies is that they're killing these celebrities, and then as a part of whatever fucking sacrificial stuff they're into, they add the celebrity's body into the museum and then make abstract art with it. It's like really disgusting.
look real in the sense of, if I saw that in a movie, it would look very believable. I would say, whoa, that does not look super fake. It doesn't look like a clay figurine. It doesn't look like bad CGI. But they don't look real in the sense of, if these are real, the decomposition wouldn't make sense unless they're preserved somehow. So it's like this very weird, I know some people are saying these are real humans, but they would have to preserve the, it's just, overall, it's a weird exhibit. But art is subjective, I guess. But more than that, the organizer for this very gory, very bloody exhibit is Ji Guangguang's husband. The owner of the apartment, his husband is the one that runs this exhibit.
The guy in the black shirt.
Oh, the guy that was holding his hand. Bro. Nah, dude, this is actually some tinfoil hat type shit. That's crazy.
People wanted to make sure. Like, are we sure, though, that this is the exhibit that he went to? They cross-reference photos from this user, and they cross-reference the photos that were deleted on Weibo. And it's pretty clear that that is the exhibit that he visited. Menglong did not post any of the gory exhibit, but he posted next to it, where there are rugs being hung about. There's these like chains that are being hung about. He posted there. And so why would they delete that? And why does it seem like there's not that much information about this specific exhibit online for people to see? Because isn't that the whole point of having an art museum? You want everyone to know about this exhibit. You want to do press tours. You want to do press releases, articles. You want curators to come into your exhibit and write about it. And there's just like nothing. That doesn't make sense. Guess who also is pictured frequently visiting this museum?
The red hair.
Yes, red hair direct.
Red 40 Roblox head was there.
Now, allegedly on the museum's website, this is an allegation. This could be photoshopped. I can't tell you, but it was alleged that before this was taken down, it was announced that Menglong was supposed to have an exhibit at this museum, like a collaborative exhibit, from September 6th to September 12th. So like right when that one ends, he's going to have his exhibit. But after his passing, they removed everything about it, is what people are saying. I don't know. I don't know if people who had gone to that exhibit would come out. I don't know if he would have fans that went, because these are his fans who support him. And then they would feel inclined to come out. So I don't know if any of this is true. But there is a rumor that it was called Unfinished Borders, which people are now definitely reading into it, wondering if people were thinking that his life and exhibit were going to be unfinished. That part, I don't know. But it does, there is a connection between Ji Guangguang's husband, it seems, to the exhibit and those pictures being deleted. There's another piece in the museum. This museum.
Yeah, it's crazy how just everything is connected. Every weird thing, like even though the 798 museum part can be seen as kind of a stretch, like to me, it seemed very like, wow, like that's really out there. Even then, all of the same people keep popping up there.
There's another piece in the museum. It's an old raggedy jacket that looks like it's been rolled around in dirt. Maybe there's blood on there. It just looks like it's been soiled. This jacket is just hanging on the brick wall of the exhibit. And Menglong was pictured, allegedly spotted, wearing a similar looking jacket at the airport before. Some people are saying this art museum feels like a bunch of rich people, sick rich people who probably are into gore, who like these very bad, nasty things, and they are almost incorporating real life victimization and this museum all together in one piece so blatantly in front of everyone, and they might get off on that aspect as well. They're saying, what if Menglong was tortured in this jacket and then they hung it up in the museum? Because they get off on it, because why not? People are wondering if this is just like a rape museum of all the artifacts and product of them essaying and their sick sexual fantasies. That's what people are saying online. I can't tell you if any of this is true.
That's like the super
I will say
dark
the jacket does look
possibility.
similar, but that jacket could be just like a, I don't know, a Uniqlo jacket, a Target jacket, like a jacket that everybody wears. I don't know.
Like hanging a jacket is like, what kind of art is that even? Yeah. So weird. Everything's so weird there.
Then come the, there's even more about the museum, by the way. There are there's like this conveyor belt that people have been posting online. And again, I haven't physically been there, and like I'm just getting so cautious about AI generated content. So I can't tell you definitively if this is even a picture of the museum, but they say, you know how you go to a dry cleaner and they have that conveyor belt where they hang the shirts and they push the button and it just rolls. It seems like instead of shirts hanging, it's like skin suits hanging. It looks
it's like people's skin hanging and it's like spinning and shit.
like someone just skinned someone's torso and then hung them on this conveyor belt, and it just keeps moving around and around, and the skin looks very realistic. A lot of medical professionals allegedly have been
This
posting
is
online.
giving very much Song of Saya, that visual novel.
I'm like, hey, so I work in the medical field, I'm in a research lab, and I'm just gonna tell you, it's a very good artist or it's something else. So that's what a lot of people have been saying, but overall they're saying this museum is creepy. Another one is there was this one exhibit, a picture going around of an alleged exhibit, where there are just so many shoes. It's not a pair of shoes. Just imagine if you were to just buy one shoe of every pair and fill an entire massive grand ballroom with it. And then each shoe is tied to a red string and they all go up into the ceiling at one focal point. And it's like this mammoth sized red string shoe. It's very eerie because of how much string there is. You can't even see through the string. And then also it's eerie because you're human and you're like, why is there only one shoe? Why isn't it a pair of shoes? Whose shoes are these? Where did you get these shoes? The shoes look lived in. They look like people wore these shoes for a
It's the shoes of their victims.
very long time. So whose shoes are these? People are pointing to one specific shoe, which they believe, they are alleging, this is a conspiracy theory, that is Kimi's shoe. They said that he wore shoes like this very often, and they think that is his. And like we said, the red-haired director was always seen at this museum, and he was seemingly obsessed with Kimi. Additionally, a lot of people think that Kimi's alleged photo from his funeral many years ago, they think that he was mutilated and tortured to death. That is a conspiracy theory online. They think that it does not appear like his body is intact. His family did come out years ago to say, that's not true. Our son was very depressed. I don't know why people don't want to accept that he was depressed and he self-exited. We didn't want to see his hands. That's why it looks like he has no arms, because we asked them to put his hands into the flowers in the casket because they were just bloated and engorged, and we didn't like the way that they looked, and it was bothering us, and that's why it looks like that. People don't believe that to this day. They think that his casket photos are unnerving. They say that it doesn't look like he really even has a torso. It looks like he's almost been stuffed with like a cardboard cutout of something to make it seem like his shirt is in place. But again, these are conspiracy theories. And then come the tunnel theories. I feel like every case, once the conspiracies start getting a life of its own,
The
there must
tunnel
always
theory.
be tunnel theories. I know with the Sean Combs case, there was tunnel theories between the tunnel of the Playboy Mansion and his house, and everything is always a tunnel. It comes back to a tunnel. But they say that the museum is connected with an underground tunnel to a very big hotel, the Bulgari Hotel, the same one that the red-haired director and Tin Hai-rong had dinner in that night. They say
This is getting way too nuts now.
there is a tunnel, an underground tunnel. So
But I mean, it could be real. It could be real. All right, let's lock in.
director and Tin Hai-rong had dinner in that night. They say there is a tunnel, an underground tunnel, so that they can transport him from the hotel to the museum and however they please.
That's so creepy. So this is all underground? Oh, okay. So this is a big ass tunnel that's connecting the Bulgari Hotel, the hotel where Menglong was murdered at. It links that hotel to the weird 798 museum.
I will say when you look at the map, they do seem like in some sort of perpendicular parallel line. But again, cities are built on perpendicular parallel lines, so it's not necessarily the most alarming thing, but I don't know. The Bulgari Hotel has been more or less canceled in Beijing, China right now. There were a few videos that came out from people who claimed to have been in that hotel during that time of, well, a little bit before Menglong's passing. And they say that it was weird because you checked into this 5-star hotel, one of the alleged reviewers, and they were in the hallway. They hear screaming. They hear all sorts of things. It sounds like someone is getting tortured. And there's like little red droplets in the hallway floor. They zoom in on it. It looks like blood. So people are saying that sounds like the people who were allegedly with Menglong. That seems to be connected. Then another person posted another video allegedly at the Bulgari Hotel, but they don't even say that it was at the Bulgari Hotel. They say this is leaked torture video and audio of Menglong's passing. And you just hear people screaming, like, spit it out, hurry and spit it out. And this is how the USB theory comes about, of he swallowed a USB and they're trying to get him to spit it out so that he won't have that evidence. But they're just filming the floor of what looks like a hotel floor. The tile is extravagant, and the tile is oddly specific. It's an 8-point star. So instead of just like a regular star, it has 8 different legs on the star. And people are like, that is such a specific design. And they start looking into it, and that is one of the trademark designs of the Bulgari hotel chains. They love an 8-point star.
Oh, whoa, Oh, okay, so this is the footage, them screaming at Yu Menglong to spit out whatever he had in his mouth. And it's the 8-point star. And that is very specific. Like, I don't think many places use this anywhere.
And that is how the Bulgari Hotel, the museum, they all become points of captivity in this theory of what happened to Yu Menglong.
If they find that star anywhere in the 798 museum, that's going to be... That's just irrefutable at that point.
But all the other ones, there's not as strong evidence tying them to... These are the main ones that people are focused on. They have denied any sort of involvement. Some of them have come out to say they don't even know Yu Menglong. To which netizens are now, I don't want to say they're making jokes, but they're sarcastically asking all these people, oh, nobody knows him? Then whose house did he go to for the dinner? Who was at the dinner with him if nobody knows him? Other netizens are saying, fine, I guess we were the ones at the dinner party then, because nobody else was. One netizen says, wait, nobody knows Yu Menglong but us? Only netizens know Yu Menglong? They're just providing character statements almost for Yu Menglong.
Wait, is the light flashing behind you? Do you feel like it's flashing or no?
I don't know.
That scared me too. I was like, wait, what? What's the husband saying? The husband just scared Stephanie like, it's the Chinese government, bro.
Do you feel like it's flashing or no?
I don't know.
That was kind of cute though. That was a cute little interaction.
People just want someone to be transparent. And someone maybe is. September 12th, the day after Yu Menglong's passing, someone claiming to be Yu Menglong's cousin comes out on Little Red Note to release a statement. That very quickly gets banned, but it reads, I'm Long Long's cousin. Long Long is Yu Menglong's nickname. Right now, Auntie, Long Long's mom, and several other relatives are in Beijing, keeping watch over Long Long's body and waiting for the police's final investigation results. The autopsy results haven't come out yet. Auntie and the other family members landed in Beijing late in the night of the 11th, and the family is mainly focused on taking care of Auntie, so please don't worry. And he goes on to list a few very strange things. First of all, nobody alerted the family. This is what the so-called cousin allegedly claims. No one alerted the family that Yu Menglong passed. They found out through social media just like everybody else on Weibo. The cousin claims a few things in this post that are alarming. The police said that it was an accidental fall. According to them, what happened was pretty much what the media reported. So he's saying, like, the police haven't given any of our family members any additional information. They say that they were drinking at the friend's house until around 4 a.m. And then Long Long went into the bedroom, locked himself in the bedroom. And then at around 6 a.m., 2 hours later, the dinner party guests, they decide to leave and they go downstairs and they discover that he had fallen. And a neighbor walking her dog also discovers that he had fallen, and the police are called to the scene. Police take statements of everybody there, and everybody said that they were very close friends of Long Long. But this cousin is saying, I mean, I have talked to other people in this agency that I believe were close to Long Long, and they have told us specifically, the family specifically, that Long Long doesn't even know these people that well. Like, he's not friends with these people. He doesn't even know them like that. He just went because his manager asked him to. He also goes on to state that a few very strange things have happened. Long Long left his phone on the living room sofa. So he goes and he locks himself in this guest bedroom of a person he doesn't even really know. Because again, they're like, we don't even know that he knows these people. But he's going to sleep over at their house after getting wasted. It doesn't make any sense. And then he's going to leave his phone on the living room sofa and then go into the bedroom by himself. He also states that there were footprints on the windowsill where he fell. There were dust on the screen window that was found underneath his fingernails. There were marks of his feet scraping the screen window downstairs. He says that police spoke to the neighbors, and all they know is that there were like 3 bottles of liquor and 3 bottles of beer that were drunk, but there were no signs of drug use. Like, there was security cameras in the hallway captured everyone going upstairs, but nothing else. They didn't capture the fall. They just happened to be not working that day. That's what the cousin, the alleged cousin, claims. The cousin also claims to say that statement that was released by Long Long's dissolved agency, that was written by the police and posted at the police station. He's saying this is weird. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. He's saying, like, we're not really learning anything. And after arriving, police asked for the entire family members' mobile and WeChat numbers, and the hotel that the family had to stay at, they couldn't even book it themselves. They were like, no, the talent agency must book the hotel for the entire family, and we need to know which hotel and we need to know which rooms you guys are staying in, just so we can coordinate better if we need to reach you. But he's just saying it feels kind of weird. Additionally, he alleges that Yu Menglong's apartment where he lived in, family members aren't allowed in. Which, if this is a drunken fall, it's not a crime. Why can't they go into his apartment? It's not taped off. It's not a crime scene. He ends the post with, I understand a lot of this is necessary for the investigation and handling to control the media attention.
Like, for something that's not a crime scene, for something that they declared like a freak accident, they're very protective of it as if it was a criminal case. Like, if they were so confident that it was an accident, there would be no redlining. There would be no, hey, like, where are you going? Let us know which hotels you're going to stay at. Let us book it for you, basically. Like,
but there are still so many things that I just really cannot understand. Initially, people believe that this is not Yu Menglong's cousin, that this is some random liar on the internet. But the cousin, alleged cousin, goes on to post a family photo which includes Yu Menglong in there. And back in 2011, Yu Menglong's account posted a comment under the cousin's page.
So this is a pretty much valid. It is the cousin.
Yeah. And then later, he goes on to post once more. The police came looking for me. Four of them. 2 cops, 2 detectives showed up. I'm not going to be updating this any further, so if you guys are looking for updates, you guys can just unfollow me. Then another later post. Yu Menglong's mother and relatives of Yu Menglong have all left Beijing. I'm not going to post anything more, so just unfollow me. Then the account gets deleted. Remember in the last episode, a lot of people were upset that
So they literally silenced that person because they were way too close to the case. They got an in-person police visit, and then all of a sudden, very suspicious final posts on all their social media saying, hey guys, I'm gonna stop posting about the situation, unfollow me now. And then the account gets fucking deleted.
this dissolved studio was the one to announce that the police ruled out any foul play, and they officially announced that Yu Menglong had passed. This dissolved studio that nobody knows who's even really controlling, maybe the police, like the cousin alleges, maybe somebody else. Even more suspiciously though, September 16th, 2025, so this is 5 days after Yu Menglong's passing, the same studio releases another statement. This time they claim that it's Yu Menglong's mother that wants this statement out in the world. That she was like, can you please post this for me? Because no, I don't have social media and I just want this out there. This is her alleged note to the public. In the recent days, I have suffered enormous pain. My beloved son, Yu Menglong, accidentally fell to his death after drinking, leaving us forever. This sudden tragedy has plunged us into deep grief. Police have informed me of their
The mom?
investigation results, and all arrangements have been completed. I hope everyone will look at this accident rationally and stop making guesses. I also hope to return to a peaceful life as soon as possible, carrying my memories of Yu Menglong and living each day as best as I can. I believe this to be Yu Menglong's wish.
What's alarming about the mom is that the mom initially was crying, begging for justice from the police. I swear to God, I saw footage of that. And then all of a sudden, moving on to saying, all right, well, it was an accident. Let's all move forward rationally. The government got to her too. I'm putting myself in the Chinese government's shoes. I'm giving the mom money because the mom is the one most connected to this case sentimentally. I can tell the government probably paid her off. There was money definitely involved, probably some threats also involved. Yeah, it was like, hey, we're gonna give you a fuck ton of money. We get it. Your son's gone. It's really difficult, but you better not say anything.
Netizens do not believe this statement to be real at all. Chief among those reasons, they don't think this is a mother who could write such a formal, official sounding statement so soon after her son's passing. And even if she did believe that her son's passing was an accident, there's no celebration of his life. There are no kind words to her beloved son. There's no personal touch. The rumors are harmful. Stop asking questions. Move on. That's the theme of her message. After her son passes away, it just doesn't make sense. And he's only spoken fondly and kindly of his mom. It doesn't seem like they had bad relations at all. It seems as if the entire message is, stop asking questions, don't investigate, let's end it here. Which is interesting because another letter starts circulating, and people believe this to be Yu Menglong's mother writing this letter. There is a red thumbprint, so it's like a signed letter. And again, this could be anybody's thumbprint. Who's to say this is Yu Menglong's thumbprint? But you tell me which one sounds more like his mother. To all the kind-hearted and righteous people from all walks of life, I am Yu Menglong's mother. In this moment, with heart-wrenching grief, I am telling you the truth about my child's tragic misfortune, only hoping to seek a bit of justice for my wrongfully deceased child. On September 11th, 2025, my child left me forever. What I can't accept is that the murderer actually lied to the world that this was an accident, covering up this cruel crime with false statements and trying to erase my child's life. They fabricated lies, confused the public, and attempted to escape legal punishment by relying on their power. But they forgot that a mother's love and memory for her child will never be covered up by lies. I have in my hands key clips before and after my child's accident, testimonial records of insiders. This is sufficient proof that my child's death was by no means an accident, but deliberate harm. Since my child has left us, I have sought help countless times, only hoping that the murderer can be punished as he deserves and that my child can rest in peace in heaven. But so far, the murderer is still at large and even tried to suppress the truth and block my demands. I know my power is meager, but I am unwilling to give up. My child was once so sunny and so kind, and he should not leave this world with any grievances, and even less should the murderer downplay his life with the word accident. I earnestly implore every conscientious person, if you have ever known anything before or after my child's death, and if you are willing to speak up for justice, please help me get justice so that more people can know the truth. I also earnestly implore the relevant departments to face my demands squarely, thoroughly investigate this case, let the evidence speak for itself, let the murderer pay for his actions, return justice for my child, return clarity to the world. I am willing to be responsible for every word I say, only hoping to comfort my child's spirit in heaven and let him know that his parents have never given up seeking justice for him. I don't know which one of these is real. I don't know if either of these are real. But
Dude, the initial one is the real one. What we just heard, that sounds like a mother. that just lost her son. And then to all of a sudden, with even more proof coming out, with even more disturbing ass information coming to light, you would expect her to get more passionate. But no, then to just go, hey guys, yeah, this accident was really sad. Hopefully you guys stop digging.
And then there are speculations that the mother has been detained. There are also concerns that soon, if this conversation keeps going, that the authorities are going to start sharing information that looks badly on Yu Menglong. There has been growing accusations, not accusations, but there has been this alleged leaked document that has been going around with the official Beijing public security seal in the corner, and it claims that Yu Menglong was under investigation for child molestation. Nobody believes it, and I know that these are things that we should not cast doubt on, but with everything I've told you so far, could you believe this without further proof?
Yeah, what kind of person?
Yeah, hell no. If the government themselves now this deep into speculation all of a sudden starts releasing dirt on Yu Menglong, some shit like, oh, he actually wasn't that good of a person, he actually touched kids, he actually was weird around women this one time, yeah, I'm not believing that shit. He was in the industry for more than 12 years and he never got into any controversy, not that I've heard of so far. For it to all of a sudden come out after this suspicious ass death, I'm not gonna believe it.
I don't think there's anyone online that actually believes this. There is a video of Yu Menglong where he is seen interacting with kids, and people are saying, like, I mean, look at him. He says in the interview, if I didn't get into the entertainment industry, I would have become a teacher. A lot of people have come forward to say really amazing things about him. His former middle school teacher has come out.
这是我的学生，我还记得啊，他的英语学得特别好，他的理科呢要差一点，但是呢，有时候我把他叫到办公室去，提到他的作业做得不好的时候，他总是笑眯眯的，你就没有办法用这个狠话去批评他。
Wait, that's him right there. That's Yu Menglong. Oh.
因为他总是那样温和的。这个事情我可能会一直要带到余生都要去关注了。前几日开始吧，就是给自己安排了一个任务，每天呢发一个朋友圈，然后每天发一个不一样的，不是为了让别人点赞，就是想让别人知道啊，看到的啊，他的点点滴滴呢，我把它保存下来，然后每天发一个不一样的，不是为了让别人点赞，就是想让别人知道啊。我们新疆走出去这样的一个好青年，他捐款过，而且还支教过，因为又有多少青年能做到这一点呢？
It seems like a lot of people say that he likes to live in harmony with the world. That was his energy. He was never super extroverted. He just seemed almost like that peaceful, wise character that's always there. Even 10 days after his passing, there was a donation made to a charity. And people saw his name and they were very emotional because it seems like he has these donations on autopay. It seems like automatically.
No. Nah, man, he deserves justice. They are not going to shut us up. They're not going to shut the world up. You know, he's passed away now, obviously. So the fact that his name is still popping up on ongoing donations to charities and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way to explain it, is that he has auto pay set up for these charities to get some of his money monthly. Even in death, he's contributing to society.
Seems like he has these donations on autopay. It seems like automatically every month he's donating to people who need it more than he does. And as of right now, that's all we know about Yu Menglong's case. I don't know if we will ever know more. But it does seem like every time someone suspiciously dies, the conversation seems to get bigger, and it seems harder to censor it. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think happened? And do you think we'll ever get answers?
Nobody, none of us are gonna we're not gonna let them erase his story, his truth, and what actually happened to him. We're also not gonna let them make Yu Menglong out to be a bad person now. I think that's what's gonna happen next. If you can't make people forget somebody, you make them dislike them. So I can definitely see the Chinese government or the Chinese police all of a sudden, out of nowhere, finding information saying that Yu Menglong did this bad thing, he did this bad thing, oh, he was a weirdo, he was a blah blah blah. He's been famous for more than a decade. If he was actually a bad person, you really think it would have taken this long for it to come out? Yeah, everybody in chat just like leave the fish emoji. Everybody's spamming justice for Yu Menglong. I mean, there's not much more I can add. It was already a really long video, so I'm not going to keep y'all here too much longer. All I'm going to say is, yeah, justice for Yu Menglong. And I hope that he finds justice, that he gets justice. He deserves that, and he deserves to have his truth amplified to all corners of the world, not just China, like everywhere. The government government thinks you're stupid. Not just the Chinese government, hell, even my government here in America. Like, I feel like governments around the world thinks that their citizens are fucking stupid, and they look down on us a lot. We're not fucking stupid. It's the age of the internet, social media. People have evidence. People can dig. People can find their own truths. They're not gonna shut us up. Thank you so much for watching, YouTube. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Thank you.